And a check of traffic at this hour. It looks like right now we have a problem on westbound 44. And that looks like right now we have a ladder that is in the roadway as you're going in through that center lane. So be extra careful. It's not clear yet if MoDOT has responded to that area. Our weather is sponsored by Saks Financial.
It's a windy and warm afternoon around town. Plenty of sunshine, 88 for the high. The record is 92 from 1970. Tonight, clouds take over. The evening is quite mild, 69 for the overnight low. It's mild all night long. Rain and thunderstorms developing after midnight tonight. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. One wave of rain and thunderstorms first thing in the morning on Tuesday. Some of those could be strong to severe. Then a break, and then we see if there's going to be some redevelopment mid to late afternoon on Tuesday. Right now, that's looking to be mainly south, but close. 79 for the high and still unsettled Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
84 right now in St. Peter's, 82 downtown at the Arch, and 82 in Florissant. Starting to cloud up a little bit here downtown and very humid. I'm Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Let's tune out the noise a little bit and focus on a retirement plan. If you don't have one or don't know how to get started, find us on our website at saxfinancial.com or retiresafestl.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 104.1 FM, KMOX. Happy Monday. Pretty day. Going to be hot.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get some weather tomorrow?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, tomorrow evening.
Like stormy weather?
It's the first alert day.
All right.
Got to watch yourself. Got to watch yourself.
Man, you've been talking to Dave Murray in advance, huh?
That's right.
Man.
I do know the weather.
You also know the weatherman.
Yes, that's true. That's true. A few of them.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I know them all.
They're some of your buddies.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Haven't met Steve Templeton yet, but
oh, yeah, nice guy.
That day's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on your calendar.
Yeah.
Like one of these days.
I'm gonna work my way through
you
chambers
all
to him.
the weatherman.
Yeah. People do reach out to me. It's
Yeah.
kind
To
of
get
weird.
something from Dave Murray.
I think they don't say that. They just assume that's where I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People in the family will be like, hey, what's it look like for Sunday afternoon? I'm like, well, 75 and sunny. How are the weekends?
Good.
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 Not a whole lot of much.
That's good.
Yeah, I liked that. That's pretty great.
Shout out to Wagons Wheels. We've had them on the show before. Very nice family, and they have a charity that raises money for an organization that people with developmental deficits are given jobs where they deliver things that are impactful to the community, and it's great for them, and it's great for the companies, and they have, aftercare and adult care, and it's really cool. So had a good time on Saturday, raised a lot of money, a lot of generous people there. So that was very cool.
Awesome.
And then I went to the Cards game yesterday, got paranoid and left after 2 innings.
Well, you probably picked the right game to do that with.
My life is right where I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I went, which by the way, my streak is over. So I'm at 6-1, which isn't bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
But a lot of people are because we've won so many of our home games.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But got into the second inning, and my anxiety got the better of me, and I went to get nachos, and I never came home. Just kept on walking.
You never
Feel
came
that.
home, or you never
Home to my seats.
Okay, you never came back to the seats. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Kept
but you went home, right?
Just kept walking.
I'm like, you didn't just,
I'm still out.
see, you didn't just drive around until today, did you?
Just waiting for the show to
I
start.
mean, I know you like the new Jeep, but man.
And I got the nachos, and I ate underneath an escalator.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Because, again, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's my new Sunday game thing is to just go and get a couple seats and sit by myself and decompress.
Eat some nachos.
Eat some nachos under a stairway.
Yeah.
A lot of worse places to eat nachos.
Solo games are good days.
It's kind of a hobgoblin feel to it, though.
Oh, under the stairway?
Yeah, I think so.
Why did you choose that? Was it just because it's out of the
It's
way?
just where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just
also
happened to be
like
where
a
it
good
was.
way. You're not in anybody's path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Do they let you take the nachos out of the ballpark?
I doubt it.
Oh,
I know
I
they
bet
don't
they
let you
would.
take
but I don't
beer.
know.
Yeah, they won't let you take beer. I think everything else you're fine.
I would like to see them try and stop me. No disrespect to the
Just take off
Cardinals.
running.
No disrespect to the organization, but I would like to see them try and stop me from taking nachos out
Andrew
of there.
goes all Derrick Henry, just starts stiff arming people and blowing them up.
Rach, a couple years ago, they gave us a beer stein,
Yeah.
and we filled it with hot dogs.
Yeah, in the suite. we were stealing. Like,
Yeah,
let's be
because
real.
they stopped us. They're like, I'm sorry, but I didn't know we'd have Hoosiers here today. That I'd have to tell you can't take the food out. We're like, oh, well, the suite's we're usually in. They let us take the
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Encouraged.
I'm sure it is discouraged in the all you can eat. I'm sure it's fine when you just purchase a thing.
Yeah, probably true.
Yeah.
Probably true.
I went to Chili's.
Nobody say anything.
I know. I went to Chili's and I got
That sounds like I mean, you showed us the picture of the drink. That sounded like a fun time.
Oh,
it
it looks
was
so
fun.
good.
I got carded so hard. Like the server, first of all, carded me, which I was flattered. I'm like, oh, this is very kind of you. But then she was like holding the license up to the light.
Like she
from,
didn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it probably took a
wasn't buying
full
it.
45 seconds of
Wow.
inspection, and she was
That's a
like,
big compliment.
yeah, it was, but it was also weird. She was like 91. That doesn't seem right. And I was like, it is.
Ray,
Please let me
she's
have my
telling you, Ray,
margarita.
she's like, you look like you're 20.
How old was she?
She said she was a very involved server. She told me she was born in 1975.
Okay, so she's an old doing like I say that born in 71.
Dang. But it was a
Yeah.
she's an old.
Yeah.
She's not as old as me, but acting
Oh,
like
so
an
she
old.
was an old.
Acting like an old. That's for sure.
I do like the idea though that like 20-year-olds are showing up to Chili's at 4 p.m. on a Saturday, like trying
Yeah,
to pull
right,
one
right.
over. On,
Yeah. Ordering Bahama Mamas.
It was the watermelon margarita. It was delicious. I had two.
Well,
I wasn't driving.
yeah. Well, there you go. Was it a good drink? Not just a tasty one, but like a good one, like a little kick.
Not
Not
as
really.
much.
They usually aren't in those places.
Yeah, it was the margarita of the month, which was like
Okay.
$6. So I
Yeah.
think I was getting like a
There-
little splash of tequila in
My
there.
experience, the chain places, those things are usually a little light.
Yeah.
I have to talk Megan out of the margarita flight at Applebee's every time we
Ooh,
go
that
there.
sounds good.
That girl
What?
loves some margaritas. I gotta have her drive whenever we go somewhere known for margaritas because she'll get like 4 of those things.
Yeah, well, they're good.
You make her drive to convince
So
her
that
to
she
not
can't
drink
drink?
too
So that
much.
so that she can't get
Jeez.
Why is she mean to you?
4 margaritas. No.
You just don't like her having a good time.
He's just super controlled.
She gets real yappy when she gets a couple in her, and it's like, look, I
God
can't,
forbid.
I can't deal with this.
Tell me you've been
today.
married for a while without telling me.
Really yappy.
Kidding. I'm kidding. The margarita flight at Applebee's does look extremely good, though.
Are they full size?
Like it's the, no, I think they are a little smaller than the normal ones. Like, cause it's
Yeah.
only like $14 for the whole thing. So, but it,
Oh yeah, then they're little
I
guys.
know. Rach, you know how you get those things from a chain restaurant like that where like you don't order it, but you do think about it all the time. And every time you
Yes.
go in, you stare longingly at the menu and you just never end up pulling the trigger on it. That's us with this stupid margarita flight. We have every time we go in there, we'll like go in and not even eat anything and just like look at the menu like,
Can you Uber?
Sure. I mean, and I wouldn't be, I don't think she's not going to get blacked out wasted off of a margarita flight. I'm just saying I just mean like, I don't know why we don't. We just haven't done it yet. I don't know. I would. She wouldn't. I would get totally blacked out. I can't handle it at all.
Never commit a crime with him.
Man, oh
He
man.
just keeps talking. He just, the
He-
detective just stands there and he just keeps talking.
He just threw himself under the
I
bus.
know.
too.
No, he did. He's like, I don't allow my wife a margarita.
She's too yappy.
Megan didn't do it.
It's
Megan
like,
didn't
I'm
kill him.
kidding, but I'm not. I mean, I'm totally kidding about her being yappy, but I don't let her drink.
Listen, officer, I know for a fact Dave didn't kill that guy. You want to know how I know? I can't tell you how I know. Okay, I know because I'm the one who did it. I did it. I killed the guy. So Dave couldn't have done it.
Ben Boyd says next time I'm at the game and feeling paranoid, I can come up into the broadcast booth.
Oh, let's put you on the air.
That doesn't
Yeah.
sound like a great idea.
That would be funny though.
It would be funny.
Yeah, nobody's better for feeling anxious than Ben
Yeah,
pranking you.
that's a good point. He's
Yeah.
just trying to bait you in because he's got something planned for you. Watch it.
All right, so Jake on the stream says, I feel for Andrew. My wife gets super happy when she's had a few, but it can be short-lived, and then she'll get mad at me for something. Jake, have you ever considered that maybe you are sparking this change? And
Yeah, that one might be a you problem there, buddy boy.
Well, I mean, look, to be
Look at
fair,
Andrew calling him
I
out.
know, like it's not my fault. I'm fine, but it must be you, Jake. Aren't these just common things that booze does to people?
I think so.
yeah.
They make you a little bit up and down in your personality, maybe sometimes a little too happy and annoying,
Mhm.
sometimes a little too angry and, combative.
It's
I mean, like,
it's
this
a
is
rare
normal
thing.
booze stuff.
It's a rare thing, it seems, where a couple can be on the same wavelength throughout an evening of drinking.
Oh,
Like if you see a couple and the wife's having white wine, there's going to be tears.
So I actually have a theory.
I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying
I
someone's
have
going to cry.
one friend in particular that I will not name, Wheeler, who has different drunks based on different alcohols,
Mhm.
and we know if it's going to be like a fun night or like a
Oh, sure. A lot of people
less
are like
fun
that.
night. Like wine makes her like a little mean, a little snobby, a little uptight, and then like vodka makes her like real giggly and laughy and telling lots of jokes and all that stuff. So you gotta like, I think there is something to that. I think like the kind of alcohol you're drinking
Yeah.
for like a whole night out does kind of set the tone for how you will be feeling.
I
in
remember
90
the
minutes.
exact feeling when I first started drinking, which wasn't until my early 20s because I just didn't drink until then. And the feeling of having 3 drinks and going, how great would 10 feel? I feel so good
Mhm.
after 3. 10's going to feel amazing.
Yeah.
And somewhere around 6, you start to feel the change.
Yeah, you sit down at the Applebee's bar with a $20 bill, and you just know, keep the dollaritas coming.
dollaritas. That's just lime juice at that point.
Tell you something else I figured out yesterday. This is sad. This is almost as sad as leaving the Cardinals game early because I was paranoid. But I DoorDashed orange chicken from
Panda?
Panda.
Yo, let's go.
How was it?
I like it.
Uh-huh.
It was as advertised.
Yeah.
But then I made the mistake of cutting one in half.
no.
Don't ever look inside,
no.
Dave.
I know.
Don't
There-
ever look
I
Don't
know.
inside.
stare into the abyss.
It's
like
Yeah.
the bare minimum of chicken,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
like it's a color that no meat,
Yes.
no
Yes.
meat from any animal is.
Yes.
It's chicken flavored breading.
Yeah,
Is what that is.
Oh, I would be okay with that. It looked like oysters.
No,
Yeah.
there are. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's-
definitely.
chicken flavor shoe leather.
You did get some bad pieces too. Like there are some that are normies,
Always.
but there's always a few where you're like, that should have been weeded out.
Yeah.
Even some of the places like our places that we go that we love so much, I'll like cut into the orange chicken or whatever, and I'm like, oof. I don't know
you're right.
what I'm
There's-
looking at
there's
here.
always that bite that makes you
You go,
right behind your
It's too
ears.
chickeny.
It hits
Yeah.
your gills, and you're like,
oh, it's not
"Nyang, nyang, nyang,
chickeny.
nyang, nyang, nyang."
It's like biting on a rubber band.
Mm.
Yeah, like Rachel said, don't stare into the abyss. 'Cause
You're
it
better
stares
off
back.
not knowing.
It stares back hard.
Yeah, I couldn't finish after that.
Oh, I
It-
can usually move on.
It knew my name.
You spit that one out and go to the next one. But that will make me test the rest. Like that will make me stare into the abyss and cut them
Oh.
open before I take the next
Oh,
one. Yeah.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
No.
no. Once that happens,
Dude, once I'm eating, I got to finish it though.
No, I'm putting it in a jar, and then when I
That's
come
like
home the next day, there's a whole world in
turning
there.
the lights on bright at a strip club.
I also when I had McDonald's on Friday nights,
Yeah.
and I tried the new Minecraft hot sauce on Andrew's recommendation.
Yeah,
That is super hot. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I was expecting
kids
just
are
like a
gonna love
norm-
it.
Yeah, that's the thing. These kids are just like, I don't know what they're prepared for, but it
Yeah, they're
was
trying to-
insanely
Oh, these are
hot.
the same kids. that
McDonald's
sit and
trying to
eat-
take these kids out. I
Yeah, but
swear.
these are the same kids that sit up and play video games and eating Takis all night.
That's true.
That's,
That's
you know
a
what?
thing,
That's
yeah.
a great point. Takis are like a huge
They're huge.
snack
Yeah.
amongst the kids right now, and Takis are like they can be a little hot for me.
Yeah. No playing around.
You get going on those, get
No
dust
feet,
all
no
over
feet.
your
No
fingers.
feet.
No legs.
I used to think I was really good with spices, and as I've gotten older, I just think I was.
Yeah,
wrong.
it used to be one of those things like
I just think I
me
hadn't
wearing
had-
sandals until Thanksgiving and not having windows in my Jeep. I'm like, people will like me if I like spicy food.
People love that I'm crying.
Well, it's not only
from
that.
how
Like I
hot
thought
it
I
is.
could really handle it. I thought like I could handle any kind of spice, and then I think I just hadn't had like real spice yet. Like, go to a Thai place and order the spiciest thing, and
Yeah.
that will disabuse you of any notions of how good you are with spice.
Spicy things, though, have gone to a whole new level like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago where you'd get like Chipotle, not the company, but the sauce. You get Chipotle sauce, like, ooh, you're living dangerously. Now it's like, how about ghost pepper, dude?
Yeah.
You know, like everything spice-wise has been ramped up.
Mm-hmm.
It's even
Remember when jalapenos used to be spicy? Now it's
Yeah,
considered
now
now
they
it's
just
a fruit.
Yeah, they just put that on stuff just to add it on.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Tell you guys about Dr. Kathy Maupin and BioBalance Health. It's super, super easy. We're all getting older, whether you are Rachel's age or Andrew's age or Wheeler or me, or you're 75, whatever it is. And things don't get better. You know, they just don't. You ripen and you ripen and you rot and you rot. I just made that up. And there comes a point when you can do something about it. You can't reverse it, but you can practically kind of reverse it. I have more testosterone flowing through my veins right now than a normal 60-year-old because I get the testosterone pellets. People ask me like, well, how far do you think it kind of de-ages you? 10 years. I think that's fair. I feel and look about like I did at 50. Maybe I didn't feel or look that great, but I maybe even dipping into the 40s. And if you're younger than that, then it's going to be, even better than that. Right next door, BioBalance Skin, where you get Botox and chemical fillers and, this new treatment called Moxie, which gets rid of your dark spots and sunspots. So if you want to look better and feel better, go to biobalancehealth.com.
The peace lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Termites cause over $5 billion in property damage every year, and most of it is not covered by homeowners insurance. Protect your biggest investment with Rottler's Proactive Termite Control. Schedule your inspection today. Visit Rottler.com to get started.
If you need to sell your home to buy a new home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS. I made myself laugh at the game. Like I said, I was in the zone. I having the best time. And for the pregame, I was sitting in the left field corner. And evidently that's where the kids come out when they're going to sing the Star Spangled Banner and God Bless America and all that.
Oh,
kind
the
of
right,
stuff.
yeah, the right field corner down by the
right field
gate.
corner. Sorry,
Yeah.
right field corner. And so all the parents were coalesced there, and they and I saw them all show up, and they all had their cameras out. And about 2 minutes after that, here come the kids, and everyone's losing their minds. They're losing their minds. Hey. Oh my God!
Hey, I just saw you 2 minutes
Thank
ago, but
you.
now you're on the field.
Thank you. You just saw someone somewhere weird.
They didn't come back from the war.
No, they didn't resurrect. If you buried them and then they showed up in the yard,
You'd be like, oh,
get the camera out. But you literally just dropped them off 3 minutes ago, and now you're seeing them from a slightly different angle. Like, I get it. I've been on the field. My kids have been on the field. I get it. But, like, I don't get that.
the energy, you mean? Like,
yes.
Yes, I would take the photo for sure. It's a cool
It's
thing.
cool.
Yeah, I agree, though. I would not be like screaming and yelling. I wouldn't be like, hey.
And the kids couldn't have been. So I used
Were
to
they
think,
junior high kids?
No.
Oh.
But that's my point. Junior high kids would have been like,
whatever.
Yeah. These kids were like 4th, 5th grade.
Oh,
and
so they were into it.
No. They were whatever too.
Really?
I think that age is getting younger.
Wow. I'm a little
Saw that
surprised.
Minecraft hot
They
sauce,
were
man.
they were really embarrassed.
That's all those talkies.
So they were
the
embarrassed.
talkies are numbing their emotions.
I was embarrassed.
They can't get excited without talkies.
Can I say something I love about you, Dave?
Sure.
I love how much you love the pregame activities.
I do.
Yeah.
You get so excited for them. And every
I
time
do.
I've been to a game with them, it's like, we got to get in our seats before the pregame starts.
I love the pregame.
Really
I
admire
mean, I would like to sit down like 2 minutes before first pitch.
I like the pregame stuff too. It's fun. You get to settle in and relax, and it's fun. Like we talked about one of the last couple times we were there. It's really fun to watch the grounds crew do their stuff and get the field ready. It's a thing you don't get to see on TV. You only get to see
I
if
like
you're
listening to
at
my
the game.
buddy John Hewlett. I like
I like
watching
him.
the first pitches.
It's fun.
I'm jaded. Probably been to too many games.
What do you
I
think
mean,
would
it's
happen?
literally like probably 800 games.
What if a wizard came down here, Wheels, and they were like, I'm cursing you to a year with no baseball games. How would you react?
I'd just say, shoot me now. Just shoot me now.
Man, I hope the wizard
Not
had
what
to
I
have
was
a gun.
expecting.
No, it would suck though. Can I watch them on TV?
Point me to the nearest bridge.
No, you can't watch any
Oh,
baseball.
I'm
And you
just-
can't go to the game. And
I
you
would
can't
be
coach.
the most miserable person you could ever think of.
You can only watch your 14 and under team.
Oh, that'd be fine. I'm good with that, but that wouldn't be enough. That would not be enough.
You
Boy,
can
I
only-
would
you can
really
only
have to.
you can only watch whatever the worst team is, like the Rockies.
Oh,
or
I can
whatever.
do that.
And you don't get to see the other team's part of it.
Oh, that's fine.
Also, this happened. There was a family in front of me, and they had like a 2-year-old girl and about a 4-year-old boy, and the mom was drinking a Busch Light, and they were very busy. And while mom was talking to grandpa, the little boy reached over, grabbed her Busch Light, took a big guzzle, turned around to
Attaboy.
me and went, he somehow knew that I was okay.
Oh man.
He knew that I wasn't going to punk
you
him out.
were going to be like, ma'am, your son's drinking your beer.
Like right on.
Dave just,
That's awesome.
Dave just
Like,
gives
man,
you a
that
fist bump.
Yeah.
That hits the spot.
That kid has definitely done that before.
No, it wasn't his first.
Because most kids hit that and they're like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
It's like I've been craving one of these all day, baby.
Been waiting for the weekend.
I didn't think she was going to shut up the whole
It
way
was a
down
long
here.
day in preschool.
Yeah, he's had it enough times. He's refreshed by it.
Yeah.
He's like, aha,
Look at these parents in there singing kids.
it's the spot.
Just seeing them in a weird angle. That's all it
That
is.
kid's lived a life already.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a 40-year-old dude.
And I gave him a look. I'm like,
I know, man. Did you give him a fist bump? Like, yeah, I know.
right on, dude. And he was drinking a real Coke out of a can. I'm like, you got it made.
Cool.
Oh, my
He takes
God.
a drink and he's like, ugh, Coors Light. Ugh.
Everything is coming
Yeah.
up little, man.
My goodness.
Wish they had. I told mom give Mick Ultra, but she
Watch
likes
out
Coors.
for that kid when he's 25.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Man.
Maybe he is.
Yes.
Tell you guys about the Underdog Fantasy app. Did you do a little playing this weekend, Andrew?
I did do a little plan.
How'd you do?
Not so great this weekend. I made a lot of very small bets that were real goofy because I like to make those, the ones with the like super,
high payoff.
Yeah, you bet $1, and if they pay off, you get like $80. So
These
those
two guys
are
are going to hit home runs.
Yeah,
Right.
those are always a bunch of fun. Gives you a reason to really pay attention to the games.
Yeah, you can play it totally straight. Like I'm really trying on all these picks. Nolan Arenado is going to hit more than 1.5 base hits. But Miles Michaelis is going to make more than 3.5 strikeouts. Or you can just go, let's get goofy. Pete Alonso is going to hit a home run. So is De La Cruz. And so is Gorman. And I'm going to bet $20 is going to pay me $4,000. I mean, it's just, you can do anything you want. If you're an NBA person, you can use the extender. First time we've done it, you play a game 1, you get a 40% profit boost. Game 2, you get 50. Game 3, you get 60. If it takes all the way up to game 7 of any series, you get a 100% boost. So it's a lot of fun. You can download the app today using the promo code Glover. That'll give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. I think I put in $25, $50 the first time. Must be 18 in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985?
This bullpen is simply lousy.
And who's talking about it now on KMOX? Bernie Miklasz.
And if a couple of your key people aren't available on a given day, good luck trying to negotiate those final 3 or 4 innings, especially with an offense that has been shooting a lot of blanks lately.
Bernie Miklasz. Hear what he has to say on the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler for Supplement Superstores. And look, I've been a customer of theirs since 2013, and there's a reason for that. Supplement Superstores is the best. They are always on the cutting edge of science, so when they find better products, that's what they work with. And they also have the best people. All of the employees at Supplement Superstores are certified sports nutrition specialists and personal trainers. So they'll work with you to build a simple eating plan and workout routine that fit your goals. And by the way, they do that for free. So to find your Supplement Superstores location and get started down your path to success, go to supplementsuperstores.com.
It's time for Dave Murray's weather forecast, sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, PennMutual.com/STL.
It's a windy and warm afternoon around town. Plenty of sunshine, 88 for the high. The record is 92 from 1970. Tonight, clouds take over. The evening is quite mild, 69 for the overnight low. It's mild all night long. Rain and thunderstorms developing after midnight tonight. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. One wave of rain and thunderstorms first thing in the morning on Tuesday. Some of those could be strong to severe. Then a break, and then we see if there's going to be some redevelopment mid to late afternoon on Tuesday. Right now, that's looking to be mainly south, but close. 79 for the high and still unsettled Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Experience the exhilarating atmosphere of a Cardinals game. Join the sea of red in the wave around the stadium. Feel the rush of excitement as a home run lights up the sky with fireworks, bringing the whole ballpark to their feet. Nothing beats the thrill of watching the Cards get the W with the final out at the plate. It's more than a game, it's an experience. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
There is no better way to enjoy America's favorite pastime than cheering on the Cardinals with your family at Busch Stadium. From the thrill of watching the game to the kid-friendly activities, food, and fun, the ballpark has it all. Make magical memories as you cheer together for every home run, double play, and Cards win. Your family's summer tradition starts here at Busch Stadium. Grab your tickets today at Cardinals.com. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Seichmann Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's a puzzler for you. So I went to the game yesterday on Nick's tickets. He had bought 2 tickets and then couldn't go. So he offered them to me. And since I have no friends, I went by myself. And so I'm sitting on the aisle, and then there's an empty seat and then humans.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time I was terrified of someone sitting in my extra seat. Not because I'm so special, but because now it's a thing. Then it becomes like a Larry David thing. Like, do you say, like, oh, this is my seat. Oh, I didn't see anyone sitting here. Oh, no one will. I just like separation from people like you. Like, what do you do if you're in that situation?
Totally get where you're coming from. I would worry about the same exact thing if I were in that situation. But I think I would just say, that's my, sorry, look, I would show them my ticket.
Taken.
Seats taken.
Yeah.
Seats taken. Like, that is it's not just like I'm taking the train on Friday by myself. I'm worried about somebody coming and sitting next to me. I didn't buy 2 tickets, so I can't, if they want to sit next to me, they're more than welcome to do that. You actually have the 2 tickets,
right?
So you can say, hey, this seat is taken.
You can also make up a story if you wanted to.
Right.
Waiting on my friend who may or may not be here.
Right. We just got a big fight.
He's delayed. He's delayed. Something, car trouble, but he's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
My date said she had to go to the bathroom. She should be back. She's been gone about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
You're waiting for nachos in the second inning. I don't know what's going on.
It really depends on how long you want to play the bid out, too, right?
Right.
And then whether or not you
I
care.
hope she comes back soon.
Because let's just say this: which for you is the least comfortable? Saying, "Hey, I have 2 seats and I don't want you in one," or hey, someone's coming and I think they're going to be here anytime.
They're both bad.
Yeah, I know.
Getting up and leaving's the easiest.
No, it is. And especially, when there's an opportunity to go somewhere that's not that far away and have an open seat.
Jake's got a good idea of like just taking off like your jacket or whatever.
That's
and
the
throwing it
play.
there,
Yeah,
or
just bring an extra
putting
hoodie or something.
like a soda in that spot or
Well,
whatever.
I took my shirt off and put it there, then people stared. So
Oh, yeah.
That made more people want to come and sit.
Yeah,
next to
you're
you.
going to draw people that way, Dave.
Okay, I know you're joking, but are you allowed to do that at Busch Stadium?
Oh, yeah. I'm
You
pretty
can be
sure.
shirtless?
Take a shirt off.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm surprised you don't see it more.
At any ball game, you can.
If you're a boy.
This gives me an idea for next time we all go to the baseball game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Is there
get
a
it.
dress code?
But it is weird.
Could a woman wear a bikini top?
I would think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen not far off at Cardinals games.
Listen to you. You just sounded like the dirtiest old
I know.
man.
I'm just saying.
I've been seeing some stuff.
More judgmental than anything.
Why judgmental?
I
People
just
should
see,
wear what they want.
I guess. I just see some of the people wearing the stuff, and it's like, you're out in public, right? I'm just saying.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
I got Andrew's back on this.
Yeah, somebody help me out here.
I mean,
I'm not complaining about it, but it's also
bathing suits are for the public. That's exactly why you wear them.
What's a bridge too far?
It's not necessarily even a bridge too far. It's just, you see in like.
You're about to body shame, aren't you?
I'm not body shaming. It's just you'll see, like, especially at Cardinals games, you'll see some people just wearing like really small like tube tops and really small shorts and stuff. And it's like,
Where are you
dang.
sitting?
You're out. It's usually in the west entrance, I've noticed. But no, it's like it's like, you know, I'm like, dang, a lot of people around for you to be dressing like that. I don't know. When I do it, everybody says I can't dress like that, so it's like I guess I'm just jealous. When I'm wearing my tube tops and short shorts, everybody's like, "Come on now."
Oh, Janelle says that she was kicked out for having a particular word on her tank top.
Well, it depends on what the word is.
Interesting.
That it was Dave.
Guess we probably can't say the word.
Well, I mean, it might not be
she
that
could
bad.
type it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's a stream exclusive.
Yeah, stream exclusive. What was
That'd
the
be on
word?
stream to see what Janelle's wearing.
Yeah, they
We're
will
all-
be
we're all waiting to see if she
We're
types.
just watching the computer, like, I hope she's typing.
I will
Janelle.
say they
We're
will
watching.
they will be more worried about that, what a shirt says, rather than how big the shirt is.
Yeah, can you wear like a political shirt to the Cardinals game?
I don't know. That's a great. I would think so. As
I
long
would
as it's,
think so.
As long as it's not like an offensive thing, like you know,
somebody.
Yeah, right.
What if I wore my drinking liberal tears t-shirt?
I bet
bet
that's
you'd be
fine.
okay.
Yep, I bet that's fine.
I bet you'd be well accepted.
Yep.
I bet that's what Janelle was wearing.
I guess we'll never know.
Guess
'cause
we'll
she's
never
not
know.
She's
typing.
not typing, so
That's funny.
Am I the only one? I'm very glad it was a quote from Game of Thrones. Oh,
okay.
do you know what Tyrion said?
Wheels.
I think so, but I'm not going to say it.
Well, she was proud enough to wear it to a Cardinals game.
Yeah.
Are you surprised she got kicked out?
Nah, a little bit that it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, not surprised. It's let's just put it this way. It's a slang term for upper body on a lady. Yeah, it's one
okay.
It's one that we shouldn't probably say on the radio.
Okay,
like you could say boobs. That'd be fine.
You just keep talking, brother.
Just saying, I'm not going any further than that.
You
That's
just
it.
keep-
No,
you just
that's
keep
it.
on going. What are other words
No,
we
I
can
just
use?
want to
Do you have
say
any other ones?
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying,
I'm
it's-
writing these down.
I
What are
don't-
words I can
don't,
say?
I don't personally think that's an offensive thing, but I can see that would not be allowed at a Cardinals
Let's write
game there.
down all the synonyms you can think
No,
of, and
hey,
we'll put it
listen.
up on the wall.
Bosom?
I'm doing my
Could I say
service.
bosom?
You probably could.
Okay, what else?
If you're Amy. She says that a lot.
Bosom.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's probably a little sensitive as far as kicking someone out, but I can see that would be right on their line.
Well, now
on a
we have
ball
something
game.
to talk to Janelle about on Thursday. she's going to get the flu. She can wear it in here. We'll put you on.
Yeah, we'll stream it.
We're not like the stodgy
care.
Cardinals. We encourage dirty words.
Oh, Tina caught her last week. She was wearing a sweatshirt that said tattoos are trashy, which is kind of an ironic joke because, you know, she has lots of tattoos. And Tina was like, why would you say something like that? And Janelle was like, no. The joke is I have lots of them. So
It's
it's
like an
I-
SNL skit.
like
Right,
ironic.
right.
And Tina's like, that's such a mean thing to say on your shirt.
We have a guy here named Dave that has lots of tattoos.
Right. She's like, does Dave
Better
know
not
about
let Dave
this?
see that.
Here, take this shirt with an expletive on it. No, we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I'm curious now.
What?
Like, I wish the Cardinals would be honest with us. You know, they wouldn't. They wouldn't say, like, well, if you show this much boob or if you show this much, you know.
There's got to be a line.
Well, I
They-
mean,
the ushers have to know.
Someone
Janelle
knows what
just
the
said
line
this.
is.
She said that, you know, she got kicked out for that, but she said some women have their butt cheeks hanging out.
And that's the thing is, like, whenever you get into a dress code, particularly with women, there are some women where you could be wearing the same thing on different body types, and people are
True.
like, it's inappropriate on you because
Good
you're
point.
eliciting some sort of response
Yeah.
emotionally from me, but this girl's fine. And it's
Like,
just not fair.
For me, for people watching the stream right now, there are men that could wear this hoodie where they don't just drip sex.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
But just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
Dave's
Yeah.
persecuted for
What
it.
am I going to do?
I mean, I don't know. Wear a parka. Only way you're going to stop it.
He does look pretty good in parkas, though. That's
That's my problem.
It's a next
know.
level thing.
Yeah.
Is he
when he
like-
said parka, I was like, uh-oh.
It finds a way.
I I'm on the Bush MLB.com/Cardinals, and I'm trying to figure out if there is a dress code.
There's no
I bet it's real vague.
There's no. Yes, it is. It gives them a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
To make decisions.
Yeah.
So that if something is borderline,
What do you
they
think
can
the
say,
dress code should be?
About what it is fine. As long as you're not being jerks about,
Like Janelle was.
Like if somebody, no, I mean like the team. Like if the ushers aren't being jerks, because let's say you had something that was negative about the team on your T-shirt, that shouldn't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah.
You'd be a jerk if you were doing that.
I wonder
Should
if you
that not
could
be
wear
allowed?
bikini bottoms.
I was just thinking that.
Could you wear like a shirt with
SpongeBob.
bikini bottoms?
I
No
don't
pants.
know. No feet.
No feet.
See, this is the thing. I guess I'm happy for you guys that you're allowed to go shirtless, but I don't want to sit next to a shirtless man.
I don't
at Busch
blame you.
Stadium.
Usually it's not.
I don't really.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of a
You don't want
bummer.
to sit next to this guy because I can cut salami.
Yeah. Well, the problem though is that also there'd be so many people around if you did that.
True.
You'd get uncomfortable.
It's finally happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
My
took the shirt
T-shirt
off.
functions like a corset. If I take this thing off, it gets way worse.
It's going to be good for none of us.
Yeah. They're gonna make me buy 2 tickets. If I take my shirt off.
You'd violate the bosom rule.
Oh.
Whatever you got going on, sir, it's just too much for the kids.
I'm the god from Janelle's shirt.
That would be a good shirt with a picture of you on it.
Oh my god,
that's funny. Woo! Did you guys see the speedboat that flew up in the air?
What? Yes.
Like that's unforeseeable.
Oh my gosh.
They're going like 200 miles an hour and flew up in the air, which is why don't you get in trouble for this? Isn't that kind of why people go? Like
Just
if you
to see, you want to see some action.
if you're going to see someone go 200 miles an hour on a speedboat,
Yeah.
you're expecting them to fly up in the air.
And I mean, it's the same logic of the NASCAR, thing where it's like you're always secretly hoping. You don't want anybody to get hurt, but
Well,
you're
not
always secretly hoping someone's going to spin out or something.
But I can always depend on you taking it too far.
Man,
It's a good thing.
That's
No,
this
it
is a known
gives me
thing.
protection.
No one just wants to watch the drive-in. You don't want anybody to get hurt, but you want to see some people spin out or something.
So you want to see an accident, but just people didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We know where he stands.
Crashing's a lot more interesting than driving. If you're watching it.
I mean, who can argue with that? It's not true. I mean,
Looking to give your bathroom an affordable facelift? Maybe you need your shower area to become a safer space for your family's needs. Hey, it's Trish with a recommendation. Michaels can come in and give you a free quote. We'll discuss your needs and help figure out what would work best for your space and budget. Michaels Baths remodeled bathrooms all over the St. Louis region. 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ rating with the BBB. You'll love these guys. Michaels Bass, 636-775-0800.
There's something new taking shape in downtown St. Louis. An experience unlike anything else in sports. From the hustle on the pitch to all the flags and smoke and 22,000 fans chanting STL in unison throughout Energizer Park. This is more than just a game. This is St. Louis City Soccer. Learn more at stlcitysc.com/tickets and experience it now.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Thursday, May 22nd to Top Golf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited days remain. Reserve yours today at PujolsFamilyFoundation.org or go to KingMOX.com/events for more info. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KingMOX and Top Golf.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Success is picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. Get your application fee waived now. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Welcome back. DGS 149 is talking to our mutual good friend Trish Gazelle over the weekend, and this really cracked her up. I'm not sure it'll make you guys laugh as much, but we're talking about when I had my own law firm, which was for about 4 or 5 years, and it wasn't very successful because you've met me. And she said, well, what would you do? And I'm like, I would go antiquing. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, down on Big Bend, there are these 2 antique stores right next to each other. And rather than going out and drinking or going to the east side or something, I would go antiquing and look for like old catcher's mitts and G.I. Joes and stuff. And do you have anything like this? Andrew, I know you do, because you used to hide when you worked at Kohl's.
Sure.
So you understand.
Sure.
The whole I've got nothing to do. Well, you got stuff to do, but you don't want to do it.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not folding towels all day.
But then you find yourself antiquing,
Mm-hmm.
and it like the whole combination just makes you feel like a loser.
Yeah, and it was also, a big part of my thing was I was very young. I was like 17. I didn't understand that I was like working harder to avoid working. Like my life would have been easier to just fold the stupid towel.
It usually is.
Yeah,
It
like I
usually
was
is.
I was working so hard to not work, and I just like I couldn't comprehend that at the time.
Yeah.
I was unable to understand it, and
Yeah.
then now looking back, it's like,
I worked with someone like that in radio.
Folded the towels.
That was just like, if you just did what they tell you to do.
Yeah, just fold the towels, man.
It's not that hard.
Yeah,
no feet.
No feet.
No feet.
Ugh.
You've probably never done that, have you?
What?
Like, been a bad employee.
I mean, to a degree, but it was like, so like this one of my favorite like jobs ever was summer job in college where a guy that I didn't know but ended up being good friends with was we were the grounds crew for like a baseball facility for the city where we lived and where I grew up. And the problem was that they would assign us a daily amount of work to do, and we would finish it halfway through the day and then have nothing to do. Mostly because the full-time guys would dog it all day. So we did in half a day. Yes. And they would drive by and tell us, hey, slow down. You're making us look bad. We're like, well, we're just trying to get done. So then we would like finish and then just go clown around inside the ice rink and play wiffle ball and stuff because they won't let us leave early.
Right.
Because that'll make all the veteran guys mad. They'll be beating our asses. And we got the work done. So what are we supposed to do? We did do one bad thing, though. We had a tractor race, and we accidentally collided and set one on fire.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That's bad.
Rach, how about you? Did you ever, Like even in radio, when you used to do a lot of overnights and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my moments. I would say in general, I've been a pretty good employee, but I'm definitely able to harken back to like, oh yeah, I was on my phone a lot, but I didn't try to get out of work necessarily. It was more just like I'm bored, so I'll think of something to occupy myself with, and then maybe get a little too distracted by
So
that.
they didn't give you enough work.
Yeah, at points. Yeah, I remember when I worked at Radio Shack, the first couple years I worked there. After Christmas, it was so dead at that mall for like months, and you would go in and like not that many people would come in during your shift, so you would kind of get used to just like playing on your phone,
doing
or
nothing.
playing on the computer or something.
That's a common thing. Like a lot for a lot of the jobs that I had that were like the part-time jobs. Most of the ones that were like more real, there was no chance to dog it. Like when you're waiting tables, if it's busy, there's just nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's something to do, you better be doing it, or you're going to get fired.
Yeah,
because you're not making any money if you're doing it that way. And otherwise, it was stuff I like radio. You know, I mean, I like doing that.
Lawyering was the opposite.
Yeah.
You could on any given day do nothing.
Yeah.
On most given weeks, you could do nothing.
I gotcha.
And
then it would hit the fan.
Then it would hit the fan, but you could typically still get a continuance. You know, oh, give me another 6 months.
Yeah.
It was terrible for a guy like me.
Yeah.
Awful.
Too many outs.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a lot of jobs where there was no out. Like this thing was measurable, visible, had to be done. And if it wasn't done, you know, you were done.
No feet.
Yeah, no feet.
No feet whatsoever.
But I've definitely had I ran master control at the sports radio network I worked at back in the day.
Sounds impressive.
Yeah, it does. You're just sitting in a control room waiting to see if something will go wrong. And you sit there and you're just like all night shift. You're just like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. You're just staring at the wall with nothing happen. And then sometimes you're not paying attention and the thing goes wrong because you've zoned out and it's off for 10 minutes. You're like, oh no.
I had a bad employee moment, and it involved Dave Murray.
Oh
yeah.
It was when we were at MS. It was the series finale of The Office was on NBC, and the only TV I could get it to work on was down at Casey, and I was the only one there.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to get Dave Murray's weather forecast. That's like how I met Dave Murray. That was your job as a part-timer when you worked 6 to midnight. And I like finished the episode. I'm like, oh, it was the series finale. That was so great. And then I'm walking down the hall, I hear the phone ring. I'm like, oh no, I've kept Dave Murray waiting. He was super nice about it though.
Did you tell him the truth?
I don't think so.
Probably for the best. Keep Dave in the dark. Was he always nice to you?
Absolutely. Super nice.
Yeah, it was nice talking. It was like the highlight of the night shift when you would talk to him.
Yeah.
I think my worst of those night employee things, and I for some reason I remember this was like right before I got married, because I thought I was gonna like go into my marriage unemployed. But we had the silence alarm here that would go off of there. So when you're on the night shift, you're supposed to be like, your only job is to listen for that.
Yeah.
And I had the door closed to the old green room so I could, again, more efficiently like watch television or something. And then I like went out to go to the bathroom or something, and the silence alarm was ringing, and it had been going off for like Casey or something for several minutes. I was like, oh no.
We're revealing some truth.
Yeah. Sounds like they're not putting their best guy on the overnights.
Hey, statute of limitations. That was like 14 years ago. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Remember when I spilled the Diet Coke into that machinery?
Oh.
I sure don't.
Nope. No
No,
one does.
I lied about that for
Dave, that never
years.
happened. What are you talking
You're a
about?
good
Yeah,
man.
I was like,
Did you
what
have a
are
bad
you?
dream last night?
I did have a bad dream. Tell you guys about the Gelman team when it comes time to take it. Okay, so if you're just dipping your toe, if you're just fantasizing about, well, you know, maybe we take advantage of this or that and we sell our house and buy another one. Maybe we downsize, maybe we upsize, maybe we finally, you know, XYZ. Whatever, everyone's life is different. You can go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com right now. Click on, put in your address, click on it, and it will tell you, oh, you live at 153 Maple Street in Kirkwood. We think your house is worth $673,000. And if that moves you positively or negatively, then you can call 314-336-1991 and have a more robust conversation about it. Eventually, we'll come out to your place after doing all of our online homework, and we'll have a perfect picture of your home, what it's worth, how to make it worth 10 or 20% more than that, and then to effectuate it. So I've done it 3 times with them. I can't say enough good things about them. Their communication is perfect. They are master negotiators. Again, 314-336-1991 or thegelmanteam.com.
Certain restrictions apply. When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Roger, tell us about your experience working with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We just had a very fine experience with the work that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath had done on our home. They had taken out walls and put in a new kitchen and a new bath, and did it in an extremely timely manner with some of the finest workers that we've been associated with. Easy to work with. They did what we asked them to do. And each of the subs that they had, whether it was being in the bath, the shower stalls, and they came in a timely manner. The plumber was here on time. The electricians were here when they said they would be here, and things just worked out really well for us. And I've done it myself, and it'll probably take me 2 years.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Guys, let me tell you about Supplement Superstores. First and foremost, I've been a customer of Supplement Superstores since 2013. And you don't get that kind of loyalty. You don't get that kind of consistency from your customers if you're not doing the job. I mean, Supplement Superstores does the job in two really important ways. It's more than two, but to me, there are two big ones. One is that they're always working. They're always on the cutting edge of science. So when products evolve, when supplements evolve, when a protein shake gets better, when some other helpful item gets better, they go to the better. They're always evolving, so they have the best of the best. But more important than that is that they have the best people. Everyone that works at Supplement Superstores is a certified sports nutrition specialist and a personal trainer. So they're experts in the field. And they sit down with you, and they'll work on a simple plan, an eating plan, workout routine that will help you get to your goals. That doesn't cost you anything. You're in there to get your supplements and all that. That's not going to cost you any extra to get the expertise that will get you the most out of whatever you're there for. So trust me, if you've been in, if you haven't been in, go. You can find your Supplement Superstores location and get started down that path to success by going to supplementsuperstores.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we have clouds, 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Kina in for Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, 60 Minutes reporting has uncovered evidence from the 9/11 terrorist attacks. There was never information shared with the FBI's own field agents or top intelligence officials. Now, a group made up of families of the 9/11 victims are speaking out in front of FBI headquarters in D.C. Juliette Papa has the story.
Patricia Kavanaugh Edwards would have celebrated her husband's 59th birthday today. Instead, she's standing with other 9/11 families to demand the extradition of Omar al-Bayoumi.
It has been one catastrophic misstep after another that has lasted over 23 years.
She's referring to the 60 Minutes report showing al-Bayoumi's 1999 video, the Capitol building, security checkpoints, and later a meeting with two hijackers. Organization executive Brett Eagleson noted that President Trump is heading to Saudi Arabia.
Ukraine says it's ready for a lasting and full ceasefire after Russian President Vladimir Putin declared a 3-day ceasefire starting May 8th to mark the 80th anniversary of the victory in World War II. Ukrainian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Yorhei Tehei.
If Russia truly wants peace, it must cease fire immediately.
An 18-year-old is dead after falling off a moving SUV that she was dancing on.
The deceased is identified as 18-year-old Nyla Simmons, who fell off of the roof of an SUV she was driving on and then was subsequently run over by a fire truck responding to a scene. St. Louis City Police spokesman Mitch McCoy says at some point, parents need to step up to prevent these reckless situations from becoming dangerous, if not fatal.
We cannot police our way out of this. At some point, parents have to take responsibility for their kids' actions. We can stop a car and we can tell them to stop, but it's a juvenile as well. So at some point, parents need to be engaged in this conversation.
McCoy says the accident is still under investigation and would not rule out potential charges for the driver. Outside the St. Louis City Police Department, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, the world's leading cybersecurity experts converging on San Francisco this week as a major tech conference kicks off. KCBS reporter Matt Bigler says thousands of attendees will discuss everything from AI-powered threats to the latest defense strategies.
Over 40,000 people are expected to attend the annual RSA conference, which started with the opening bell on Wall Street being rung remotely. RSA has had other big events and celebrity appearances.
Yeah, we had William Shatner beam into the audience from the Enterprise.
Randy Cohn has been working at RSA for over 20 years. This year, one of the key topics will be using AI to counter cyber attacks that are also being generated by AI.
I'm really intrigued to see what people have to say about technology.
Matt Bigler for CBS News, San Francisco.
A check of the Dow at this hour from Stifel. It is up 16.27 points to 40,129. A check of traffic at this hour. Looks like road work still happening westbound 70 past Zumbel. The left lane is closed there, and 2 lanes are open. Also moving road work. Eastbound 370 at 94. The right lane closed there, and that's from time to time. That should be moved out by about 2:30. Weather is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com.
It's an early summer-like afternoon across St. Louis. Plenty of sunshine. Boy, we're dealing with a fast warm-up. It's also windy from the south. 88 for the high. 92 is the record from 1970. So I think we fall short of that, but it's much warmer this afternoon. Then tonight, clouds take over, very mild, 69. Some rain and thunderstorms arriving well after midnight. Tuesday, real changeable sky, a mix of clouds and sunshine with periods of rain and thunderstorms. We have one wave coming in first thing in the morning. Some of those could be strong to severe. Then it's kind of a waiting game to see if a second batch develops as we go through the afternoon on Tuesday. Right now, I'm thinking most of that will be to our south, but close. 79 for the high on Tuesday. The problem, this front coming in gets stuck. So on Wednesday and Thursday, mostly cloudy with periods of rain showers and 72. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Right now, 84 in St. Peters, 85 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 85. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, 205 DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Gonna be a hot one today, and some weather coming in tomorrow. So just kind of be on the alert for that. So the story that Maria Kina was just doing, I'm sure you guys heard it. 18-year-old girl dancing on top of an Escalade downtown. Slipped, fell, ran over by a fire truck that was coming to respond to something else. And the Mitch McCoy, the spokesperson for the police department, just said, yeah, it's time to stop blaming the city and cops and blame the parents. That if your child is out there dancing on an Escalade, this is your doing, this is your problem, and you're the ones who can stop it. Thoughts?
I mean, she's 18, so what say do the parents really have at that? I mean, I appreciate the sentiment. Parents should be watching over their kids more, but this is a legal adult, so why are we going to that?
True.
Yeah, I mean, but raise your kid to not be dumb enough to do that. If you're dancing on top of a moving car in the middle of a city street, I mean, unless you're being paid to do stunt work for a movie, what are you doing? What do you expect to happen? And again, if I did that at 18, my dad would have whooped my ass. What are you doing? I mean, no joke. At 18, I know they're adults, but they still usually live at home.
Yeah.
They still usually are on your insurance, and you're paying for their phone, and you're paying for their car. So, and again, it's terrible because I hate saying that, because I know that, I know what happened, but how many times do you see something like that happen where ends up okay, nothing terrible is going on? But I mean, we see, again, people just running lights, people doing all kinds of crazy we see doing donuts in the middle of intersections on weekend nights in downtown. Like, if people get hurt doing crazy things, that's not the police's fault. That's not the fire department. It's not the city's fault. It's the fault of that person and whoever had an influence on them.
To what degree, assuming this thing just didn't pop up, to what degree is it the police's fault that they don't break these things up faster than they do?
Do they even have the numbers to do it?
Well, if they don't, at that point, it's on the city.
Yeah.
It needs to either they have the numbers or they should have the numbers.
we've seen, how many times have we seen the stories after the fact that there was one patrol car on duty in downtown on a given night? What's that one? I mean, by the time others get there, if they get there, I mean, we've seen this. Where was it? Was it Keener Plaza? Was it somewhere like maybe a month ago where there was a giant fight? Maybe it was right across from, was it across from Enterprise Center, or was it across from?
I know there have been plenty of fights at Keener.
There was a big fight out there.
One where no one was leaving.
And, and police officers showed up, but there weren't that many of them. It's what are 10 people going to do with 100 people fighting or 200 people fighting? You know what I mean? Like, unless you're going to show up in force, and you got to have the numbers to do that and the people available to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, if it's like 4 people fighting and police officers can't stop it, okay, then you can maybe talk about what they're doing wrong. But when you're talking about the number of things that are happening and the number of people involved in them, four cars showing up is not going to change a whole lot. And that's why the people are doing it, because they know it.
Do you put the person who is driving the Escalade in jail if you can establish that they knew that the person was up there dancing?
I don't know what the law is, but if I could, I would. I don't know what I don't know the law, the driving laws.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you knew someone was on top of your car and you were driving forward, you bear some responsibility for what happens. If I don't know how you would not know. I mean, if somebody's going to do that, if you got a buddy, you got a friend, girl or guy, and let's say they're drunk and they're doing something crazy and they're jumping up, you stop. You stop driving. You pull off to the side and you stop. That's what you do. And I say this, yes, as a judgmental older guy, but also as someone who has been young, a teenager, a college student. I can think of 2 examples in college, driving 4 friends in my tiny little car to South Beach, and 2 of them hanging out the window because they're drunk and they're crazy. And I stopped the car and I told them, get out if you're going to do it. If you're going to do that, just leave, get out now. If you want to drive, if you want to ride home, get your ass inside the car.
It's just so sad because it's completely preventable.
Yep.
It's not one of those things like, oh, what are you going to do? It's like, not do that. And
Right.
then it's not going to happen. Like, don't dance on top of the Escalade and then you won't fall off and get run over. It's horrible. It's horrible, but it's very easily prevented.
And very foreseeable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you start to hold platforms like Snapchat or Instagram accountable? Because people do this kind of stuff. They're not just doing it for the love of the game. They're doing it to put it online and to show off. Like, these platforms allow and encourage this kind of content instead of taking it down.
That's a good point.
And that just drives more people to do stuff like that. Like, it seems easier to take down that kind of stuff on like a moderator level than it does to like solve the police issue in St. Louis,
I mean, right, but then how many this is why they you're right, they should see dangerous and violent, those kind of things and pull it. But if they don't have those things, then nobody goes there. They lose all those clicks, they lose all those views, they lose all of the all those trending things, and they'll end up on some other site and people go there instead.
How long did it stop people from dancing on Escalades in St. Louis?
Oh, 0 times, because everybody's going to think it's not going to happen to them. I mean, I don't understand how you get to the point where you can fix people just being ridiculous. Like, how do you do it? I mean, everybody was ridiculous, right? To a degree when you're young. But the whole point is that in the time that I remember, there were limitations to a degree. But I know friends that did terrible, stupid things. I knew friends that drove drunk. I had a kid in high school who drove drunk and he killed somebody when he was 17 years old. Like, I know it's not like this. It's not like young people doing stupid things is new. Just the way that it happens is different, and the visibility of it is what's new, right? Because they're all trying to get likes and shares and follows. And
not being on social media, I'm surprised that that's not banned. I'm surprised that things like that can literally kill you, that they would post that stuff.
I'll sometimes see, I mean, that's not the kind of content I gravitate towards. It's not really showing up in my algorithm. But from time to time, when you do see people doing like stunts and stuff, there's a disclaimer that's like, oh, don't do this at home. This is bad. But then but remember the crate challenge on TikTok?
Yeah.
I think they banned that
Sounds
after
right.
enough people got hurt.
Sounds right.
But it just feels like, someone's doing something dangerous with a car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So speaking of phones, you say you need a break from yours?
A little bit. I think I was on it a little too much this weekend, and I don't know. I have
No
a
such
tendency. No, I have a tendency to just any time I feel a moment of boredom, that's what I'll turn to fill it. And then I'm just on it too much, and then I'm like, I wish I could stop looking at this, and then I just keep doing it. And then I have free will. I'm able to put it down and go do something else. It's just I've run up to a point where I'm like, beautiful outside. Let's enjoy this more than seeing what people are doing online. Because it's just, you see stuff like that and it just makes you sad and depressed. And
so I forget who said it, but someone said that every problem man has is related to his inability to sit in a room by himself. We're just always getting up to shenanigans because we can't just be alone and just be okay. And as someone who that's a problem for, we definitely live in a time now where everyone has caught up to me. Does that make sense? Like, even before social media, I've always struggled with being alone. Like, okay, what can I do here? What do I need to work out? But now it seems like everyone's there, that our attention span is so short, and our need for serotonin or dopamine or whatever it is that gives us that little micro hit is so strong that now everyone's like that.
I guess, how are we defining like being alone in a room? Are we like not like nothing? You're just not doing anything, not reading, not watching TV? Because I don't think we're wired to do nothing.
Yeah, not so much raw dogging, like sitting in a chair and staring,
right?
But like just being at home with all of your accoutrement, but no entertainment. Like that's one of my fantasies. Like, you're in a cabin and there's no television and you're chopping wood, but like that runs its course for me in about 8 minutes.
Right. Well, I mean, but like the chopping wood, that's doing something, right? If you're making wood, if you're making chairs, you're doing something. I don't know that humans are really wired to do nothing. Like, like just sit quietly on a chair
but I don't think they're wired anymore to chop wood and gather hay.
I mean, I think it would seem to be a really good survival tool, though. Like when you're thinking about evolution, that your brain is constantly looking for something to do.
Yeah, as long as it's constructive.
Right. Well, sometimes it's not.
But I think it's very similar the way that, okay, so I was at a really nice dinner the other night. I was at Brasserie by Niche. It's a French place.
Yeah, nice.
And every bite of food I had was healthy and great. And I was wondering if that kind of food, Gerard Kraft food, was the same price as McDonald's, would everyone be eating fine French cuisine, or would we be eating McDonald's?
A lot more people would.
I think a lot of us would be choosing the better. Well, just also it's better. You're right. It's healthier, but it's also just better. But better and healthier means more expensive.
It seems to me like what we do when we're alone has a lot of similarities to how we eat. that even if we can eat better and healthy with a little bit of effort or a little bit of money, we're really drawn to not. We're really drawn to quick and easy and fat and salt and sugar. And I think we're like that mentally as well. I mean, just look at the phone, look at TikTok. I mean, it's nothing. You can have an algorithm of nothing but self-help books and the Pope, but most people don't. You know, you got candy coming in all the time, whatever your form of candy is.
So I kind of think of it this way, and this is maybe a weird way of looking at it, but you know, you see elephants at the zoo and they just pace.
Yeah.
It's because they're not used to just being in a confined space and standing still. And I don't think we're meant for that. Like our whole existence up until the last 100 years really has been, you got a hard job, go do it. You got to get the food. You got to hunt. You got to go tend the field. You have to do all these. So we haven't had this kind of time until recently. Like what we're talking about, all of this recreational time and access to it.
And now we haven't had this kind of time in 30 years.
Right.
Things were significantly different 30 years ago.
Sure. Absolutely. The nature of jobs was different. The jobs tended to be more physically oriented, right? And like all day doing something. You're building something, you're in a factory, you're at a steel mill, whatever. The types of jobs have changed. Yeah. And I think for a species to adapt to something like that takes a long time, whether you're us or you're elephants or whatever.
Yeah.
Some people follow the rules, but where's the fun in that? I'm Soraya, and this is Rule Breakers, the podcast where we celebrate the rebels, the risk takers, and the ones who make their own way. Every week, I sit down with the boldest voices in sports, entertainment, and beyond to talk about breaking barriers, defying expectations, and rewriting the rules. No limits, no apologies, just real talk. Follow and listen to Rule Breakers with Soraya, an Odyssey podcast available now for free on the Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet. Couldn't be simpler. If you or someone in your circle of friends, your crew, needs new flooring, we have everything that everyone else does, except maybe a couple of places like in Clayton and Ladue that are going to have super, super, super crazy expensive stuff. Now, if you want to go there and shop and take a picture of the SKU and bring it in, we can get that stuff in a couple of weeks and save you a lot of money. But you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or Lumber Liquidators or any of those competitions, they're going to have Mohawk, Shaw, Coronet. So do we. Same guy drops it off. We pay the same price. They mark it up. We mark it up. We just mark it up less, and we're a little smaller. So it's not like walking across Six Flags trying to find, Berber carpeting or something. When you need it installed, we're going to do it. We're going to do a great job. It just really is that simple. 3 locations, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
Join the magic this summer at the Muni. Season 107 begins June 16th with Bring It On, the musical, followed by Come From Away, Disney's Frozen, Evita, Dear Evan Hansen, La Cage aux Folles, and Jersey Boys. See all 7 Broadway hits for as low as $126. For tickets, visit muni.org.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS. We have Bernie Miklasz coming up at the bottom of the hour. I have a weird question, and everyone's going to think, oh, Dave's in a bad relationship and he hates someone. Not true. I just recently sent flowers to Phoebe, and it just made me think, because I'm a weird thinker, if you wanted to send dead flowers to someone, like an inside joke, or maybe you don't like them,
Right.
would FTD do that?
I bet there's a specific site to do it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Let's Google.
That's like a specialty company. You're not just calling Walter Knoll and saying, like, I want to send some dead flowers.
Oh, man.
What a weird thought to have, right? But I mean, like, flowers die.
There are all kinds of sites that will do this. One of the names I'm not going to read on the air, but the other one's called The Payback. Thepayback.com. You can
Sure,
send
that's much of a payback.
you can send dead flowers and fish.
I'm going to totally own my ex by spending $65.
To send dead flowers.
What are you talking
I'm going to
about?
prove to my ex that I'm not thinking about them.
Right.
Well,
I'm
Rach,
so
what if
over
I
you.
told you it's only $20?
That's
mean,
just as
still.
bad.
I saw a TikTok this weekend of this girl posted, she was like, you keep checking my profile because you can't get over me. And it was like this smug look on her face. And I'm like, this is the worst response you could have to your ex or your ex situationship or whatever is going on with you. Like, I didn't know her. I'm not going to get involved. But I just had the thought of like, why would you then post about it, proving that you care the most?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Man, they have a lot of options on this site.
What kind of flowers?
So, like, you can do half a dozen, dozen, or 2 dozen wilted roses. You can do just the stems.
Jeez.
You could do a dead flower assortment.
See,
melted chocolates.
I think there are probably like some cool like goth girls out there that would love, like genuinely love getting a gift like this. But if you're sending it as a revenge thing,
you can do better.
You're just spending your money.
Or maybe don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you can send them the body odor package. That's
what is
just
that?
crazy, man. I guess it's like you're sending them soap, deodorant, and a letter.
That's mean.
Yeah.
This is insane that people would spend money on this.
I mean,
I just had like an off thought and wrote it down.
And
It's
it's
a whole
actually a
cottage
bunch.
industry.
It's actually a business.
Wow.
It'd be fine if you sent me some soap. I'm deodorant. I mean, I'll use that stuff, right?
Well, that's fair. Yeah, you don't know what kind it is, though.
You need to use this. You're like, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I will.
Send me a bunch of toilet papers. I don't have to go to the store and spend money on toilet paper.
If you want to send me some McDonald's food, that'd be great too. Thank you.
I almost went to the ball game yesterday without washing my armpits on purpose because the night before I had an event, which means I got all prettied up. Dave
Right.
brought out the blazer and the
Oh,
cologne.
man.
And I just didn't stink. And I was lazy.
So?
And it was Sunday and I was going by myself with an empty seat between me and everyone else. And then
What about deodorant?
I was going to put my Mitchum on, just Mitchum.
Mitchum? What's Mitchum?
Well, I ordered lady deodorant. As you know, I wear Secret.
Mhm.
And they made a decision for me, I guess, that wasn't manly enough. So they sent me Mitchum.
I have never even heard of
That's
it.
OG.
It's the man.
That's like a 1970s,
But
80s brand.
They do make Mitchum for ladies.
Do they?
They make Lady Mitchum. Yeah.
Okay. I think they just sent me man Mitchum.
Mr. Mitchum.
Yes.
Is there a Mrs. Mitchum?
But I thought better of it and I washed my pits and put them on Mitchum.
Is there anything worse than like today's a little hot for April?
Yeah.
And then realizing in the afternoon, oh man, I didn't put on my deodorant today.
Thankfully, it doesn't happen much to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when it does, it's pretty bad. We have deodorant in our office.
Do you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In case you guys ever need
keep
it.
keep that in mind.
Yeah. You have to find it, though.
I'm a sweaty man. I never forget that.
You don't have to find it because
I can't do without it, because if I don't, I'll be ripe.
Would you share deodorant with Kevin?
Yeah, I don't have a big problem with stuff like that.
I mean, it's just armpits.
Yeah. I'm sure that would gross everyone out, but
why would that bother anybody?
Yeah, Rachel, would you share deodorant with Kevin?
Well, now it sounds weirder.
It wouldn't be my preferred thing to do, but if he was in
now
dire
it sounds
straits-
worse.
Not.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I wanna know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm Danny Cohn, President and CEO of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis. This past week, the Jewish holiday of Yom HaShoah commemorated the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust and remembered the 6 million Jews who were murdered by the Nazis in World War II. As Jews, when we recall the atrocities of the Holocaust, we say, never again. This is not a slogan or a tagline. It's a responsibility we all share to prevent the systematic hatred from going unchecked. When we work together to fight against prejudice and bigotry towards everyone, we create a better community for everyone.
At the Williams residence, everything looked kind of the same from the outside, but inside, their lives just got way happier. 3 years of inflation and debt had crushed them, but for the first time, they had the cash to secure their retirement, pay off bills, and plan their future. They didn't win the lottery exactly. They did a genius financial strategy called the Sell and Stay program from Truehold. It's easy. Their home's value had rebounded greatly, so they quickly sold it to Truehold and banked all that equity in cash. But since they weren't ready to move, they could stay put with an easy, affordable lease. Truehold even paid their property taxes, home insurance, and essential home repairs. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a Truehold offer now while your home's value is high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out after your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
We take you now to Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
It's a windy and warm afternoon around town. Plenty of sunshine, 88 for the high. The record is 92 from 1970. Tonight, clouds take over. The evening is quite mild, 69 for the overnight low. It's mild all night long. Rain and thunderstorms developing after midnight tonight. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. One wave of rain and thunderstorms first thing in the morning on Tuesday. Some of those could be strong to severe. Then a break, and then we see if there's going to be some redevelopment mid to late afternoon on Tuesday. Right now, that's looking to be mainly south, but close. 79 for the high and still unsettled Wednesday and Thursday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
When we started Neovitamin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitamin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitamin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitan.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. Tonight,
the Cards, the Reds.
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Bernie's segment is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Dicon comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 233. Time to talk to Bernie Miklasz. Hello, Bern.
How are we doing on this pleasant Monday?
Not too bad. Not too bad. So, I mean, we ended up taking the series this weekend. I guess got to look at the positive, right? It doesn't feel positive, but I mean, we're winning some series.
Well, the Cardinals are such a puzzling team because they're really good at home this year. I mean, what are they, 10-4, 10-5?
Yeah.
10-5, I believe. But the thing of it is, I was looking at this earlier today. When it comes to their offense, for example, they've got the number 2 offense in Major League Baseball, like in home games.
Right.
And their offense is nothing close to that on the road. And it doesn't really make sense because Busch Stadium's not a good, easy yard for hitters. So the Cardinals have performed dramatically better at home and than they have on the road. And I don't want to hear well, they played some tough on the road. It's baseball. You're going to play tough teams on the road. You either win or you don't. And the Cardinals' performance in both areas has been better at home, offense and pitching has been much better at Busch Stadium. How do they take this onto the road, though? How do they take that performance and, put it into play on the road? I think a big, if I can go on, 30 more seconds, I think a big reason for this is the bullpen's the biggest weakness the Cardinals have. And the bullpen on the road is more of a factor because, the Cardinals, and they're not the only team, they don't like to use their closer in a tie game on the road. I mean, they hold the closer back. And it can blow up on them, which has been the case with Ali Marmol and Ryan Helsley. So the home team, the way the Cardinals bullpen is set up, and it's not set up very well, the home team where the Cardinals are playing, the visiting team, the home team has an advantage in the bullpens. And I think that may explain part of it anyway.
Yeah, it's weird. And because it's not like the competition at home has been easy. You got Milwaukee,
Right.
you had Philadelphia, you had Houston. Minnesota's not off to a good start, but Minnesota wasn't viewed as a weak team coming into the year. So it's not like it's been the Rockies and the Marlins and you're beating up on bad teams. They played pretty good teams at home.
And the Angels score some runs. I think the Angels are a little better than people thought. So, I think this will all blow out over the course of the season, but it certainly is just another weird thing about the Cardinals in 2025 so far.
That's almost the theme, isn't it? Weird.
Yep, it is.
And that kind of goes back to the last couple of years, too. There's just always something that's just a little off. And it's not always personnel. Sometimes it is. It's not always decisions about who plays when or who pitches when. Sometimes it is. But it's a weird vibe because it's hard to pin down why it's happening the way that it is.
Well, and it's complicated, too, because, for example, the Cardinals were not a great road team last year, but they had a winning record. Or maybe, no, actually, it might have been slightly below 500. But their bullpen, was really strong on the road. I think their problem was more offensively on the road. But this year, the bullpen's not all that hot in place, home or road. So it's really going to – a lot of this is going to come down to how the bullpen performs, whether the Cardinals can have a winning season this year or maybe they're headed to a losing season. I think the bullpen will be the number one factor no matter where you play the game.
So I want to come back to the Blues because I want to spend a good amount of time given what they've done. But the Shedeur Sanders thing is taking up so much space in the sports world, and it is such an interesting story, but I want to get your take on it.
I've just sat back and watched it and have what's the word here? I've just been entertained by the whole thing. That includes the media coverage of it. I mean, people just lost their minds. And I mean, I kind of get it. But it's almost like I expect ESPN. In fact, I'm going to check later on when I get done for work with them. I'm going to go to ESPN to see if they've created a new platform like they have a Shadir Sanders channel now. We'll just around the clock coverage of this. So it's always fascinating to me the way certain people in terms of ESPN especially will just come onto a story and they'll beat it to death. So from a media standpoint, I'm burned out on it already. But it doesn't make any sense that he lasted so long. His father hasn't done him any favors. I mean, do you really want, if you're an offensive coordinator, head coach, and Deion Sanders is the type of guy who'll call the owner and complain about how he's using his son? If you have some questions about his ability, would you really want to have that? Would you want to have Deion Sanders basically going behind to rip you as the coach or the coordinator to the owner? Because that's the kind of stuff that would happen. I mean, he's a helicopter daddy, no question about it. I think Shadur's a really good kid, actually. He really is. But I think these NFL teams get a little leery of guys that haven't played a day in a league and they're showing up in $250,000 sports cars and they've got a $200,000 watch and all that stuff. So I don't know. The NFL is weird in some ways like that. They let a lot of stuff fly. I mean, a lot of stuff fly. I'm talking about bad conduct. I'm talking about players who get arrested. I'm talking about Aaron stinking Rodgers, still floating around out there. Yep. And so it seems to be to me it's a strange line to draw.
That's interesting, Bernie.
With Deion Sanders' kid.
What other ways has the NIL money changed play? And it's only been going on for a very few years, so we don't have much of a sample. But for kids who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars in college, clearly making millions is more, but it may change their outlook. They don't have such a scarcity mindset anymore.
No, and some reports I read, and I obviously can't swear to the accuracy, but there have been multiple reports. Sanders, the kid made about over $3 million last year. So if you're an NFL team, you're like, well, we're going to draft a guy who's going to take a pay cut, and he's probably going to sit on the bench. And how's that going to go? Is his ego going to be able to handle it? I actually think his ego will handle it because I think this has been a humbling experience for him. And to some extent, it's been an unfair experience for him. But when Deion's your father, and I've got nothing against Deion, man, a great player, and I think he's a hell of a coach. But when Deion is sort of like doing your bidding for you and getting involved in your business, I don't care who the parent is. I don't think any NFL team really wants that. Now, I know some people say, well, Archie Manning got involved with Peyton Manning, with Eli Manning. He didn't want to play in San Diego, so Archie kind of manipulated the system so he would get the Chargers to trade Eli to the Giants, and it worked out great. So this isn't the first time that a prominent parent has interjected himself in his son's drafting status or his drafting situation. So it's been done before. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Seinfeld said something once I totally agreed with. Having done lots of stand-up myself, he said that stand-up comedy is self-policing. You don't need anyone's opinions. You know every joke, every set, every show, how you did. People either laughed or they didn't laugh. It's self-policing. There's no real thought in between the joke and the laugh. Do you feel the same way about this, that if he went in the fifth round, the NFL thought he was a fifth rounder as opposed to conspiracy theories and such?
No, I think they thought he was probably a late first rounder, second rounder. I'm only going by what everybody was saying, going into the draft. I mean, some people had him rated as the best quarterback. I just think they were freaked out by the specter of Deion hanging over everything. And, this is my belief. I can't possibly back this up because it's not like I have great contacts with all 30 franchises. But I think if Deion had stayed out of it, I think the kid would have gotten drafted pretty early.
Yeah, the problem with this type of story is there are so many layers to it, right? Like, we see all of the public draft gurus, and they're not dumb people. They're smart. They know what they're looking at on film. They talk to people, but they're not the decision makers in the NFL. So their view of a player may not be the league's view. And the league's view is not even unified. Some teams might have had him as a first rounder, but they don't need a quarterback. Some teams might have had him as a third rounder, but they didn't want the headache. Like, that's the problem with all of this is the coverage very rarely reflects the complexity of the evaluation process.
Yeah, all that said, though, Wheels, I don't recall a guy who generally was viewed as a really good quarterback prospect tumbling like this. I really don't. I mean, you know, I've seen some really bad reaches and lunges. Well, you know, Dan Marino waited towards the end of the first round in 1983. Yeah, it was the end of the first round. It wasn't the fifth round. Okay. I don't recall, at least, I can't remember where a guy like fell this much. And it's not like there were reports ripping him in advance about this or saying, well, you know, his stock's way down because teams are alarmed because of this. But I don't trust like NFL reporters. I'm talking about the quote insiders. I don't trust their reporters because they basically work for the agents.
No, that's a good point.
So before
we never know what to believe, right?
Before we run out of time, kudos to the Blues. I mean, that's the team we saw in that 12-game run. That's fantastic. Where do we go now? Like, literally, what do we do now?
Well, got to win 2 out of 3 if it goes the distance. And the thing of it is, I like the Blues' chances because number one, they found their 5-on-5 game. It was not on display in the first 2 games. They came back in the next 2 games. They outscored the Jets 9-2 at 5-on-5. Jim Montgomery's also really smart. He knows Connor Hellebuck is a guy who is a big goalie who likes to kind of crouch and tuck himself in tight to the goal. He's not very nimble on his feet. But what happens is if you get traffic in front of him, he doesn't react to it really well. And, he told his defensemen, shoot. So in the last, the first 2 games, the defensemen put about 28% of the shots on goal, the team's total, about 28%. Last 2 games, it was more like 48%. And so they got all this traffic up in front of the goal. There's so many people in front of Hellebuck in front of the goal. I thought I saw Pat Maroon in there crushing a Budweiser and like throwing the empty in the goal. I might have been mistaken, but anyway, he just can't see through the traffic. And you know what? I went back and did some reading and research on this, and that's exactly what happened to him the last 2 postseasons, where they got beat. They got beat in the first round 5 games each time. Vegas, and then who the heck was it? Oh, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Oh, Colorado last year. That's what those teams do to knock him out early. And I got to like the Blues' chances, and I know we'll have more time to talk about this another time. But you look at the Bennington versus Hellebuck head-to-head matches. They've played 10 postseason games against each other, and it's a no contest. I mean, Bennington dominates the goalie competition across the board, and of course, he beat Hellebuck in a massively huge game when Canada beat the U.S. in the 4 Nations tournament. That was a huge win, and Hellebuck came up short. So I think the Blues, it's a cliche, but I do think that they've gotten in his head. But that's because they've seen other teams get in his head during the postseason. This is nothing new. This has actually become pretty regular for him.
Bern, let's hear about Saliga.
Yeah, and it's interesting because my friend Dan Saliga, they're now affiliated with Daikin Heating and Air Conditioning Equipment, and Dan wanted me, and I'm going to make sure next time I'm saying this the right way. You know how it is when things are new, but Daikin uses. I know this will come off like, well, what is this exactly? Why did they change? They use a thing called a R32 refrigerant, which is used worldwide compared to the new 454 refrigerant, which is banned in a lot of countries. So they switched over to Daikin for that reason. And this R32 is the only refrigerant that does not contain PFAs. They're also known as forever chemicals, which ain't real good, I don't think. And so that's why Saliga has chosen to go with the new equipment. But nothing else has changed because Saliga is family owned and operated since 1927, still offering free estimates and financing options, still has the absolute best customer service in St. Louis. And take it from the Miklases, we have been calling Saliga for 16 years now, almost 17 years. And every experience we've had with them has been perfect, and I am not exaggerating. They take great care of their clients, and that's why they're still around and going strong almost 100 years later. And 4 generations of Saligas have operated this proud family business, and it means a lot to them, man. They want to uphold the high family standards. So if you need anything at all from Saliga, do not hesitate to call them, and they'll get some help right on the way. or they can answer some questions for you, whatever it may be. 314-481-7333, 481-7333, or go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
So back when I was a kid, we had Flintstones vitamins and one a day, chewables, and all that kind of stuff. Vitamins have been with us for a really long time. And like anything else, you look back in the 70s, the 80s, and you look at what was in them, and you're like, oh my God, it's just so much better today. Neovitin is going to be on the shelves next to probably dozens of other supplements. There's some that are here's just vitamin D, here's vitamin B12. We are a multivitamin. We have 20 ingredients. We have all of those vitamins. We have antioxidants. We have omega-3 fish oils. About once a year, we do a big review with our doctors and scientists, say, is there anything that, new studies have shown that you need a little more vitamin K or a little less of this, and then we'll change that recipe. Everyone out there can take the Neovitin Classic. That's what I take. And there's also one specifically formulated for women and for people over 50. It's less than $1 a day. Take 2 pills a day. No big whoop at all. Every bottle, a portion we're going to give to cancer research. You can find out more about it or order it online at neovitin.com.
This month, Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight is testicular cancer. Dr. Woodson Smelser.
Testis cancer is a disease primarily of men 18 to 45. And so for men in that age segment, we recommend doing just a monthly testicular self-exam. And you can do this in the shower and just basically feel for any abnormal lumps or bumps on the surface of the testicle. And then, of course, if you find something like that, that's when you need to contact your doctor and get further workup.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu. The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Welcome back, DGS 251. So, Rach, I'm sure you'd heard about the Shedeur Sanders dropping to the 5th round. Did you hear about the prank call?
I did not.
So they give them phone numbers that no one but people like GMs in the NFL have.
Okay.
Because they just don't want anyone no one's going to call you on this number unless they're a GM from the NFL. And this 21-year-old kid at college, his dad is a defensive coordinator for the Falcons.
And was an NFL player. Yeah.
Yeah. And he saw Shedeur Sanders' number. And he and his buddy called and taped it from the dorm room, pretended to be the GM of the New Orleans Saints, and ran a goof on him and then hung up.
Yeah.
And so you have the film of that, and you have the film of Shedeur Sanders getting the phone call.
Yeah.
And saying, like, I don't know what this means because no one has this number, but it didn't sound right. And just insult to injury.
Yeah. I mean, this is, I'm a little annoyed at some of the coverage calling the guy who did it a kid. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's the coach's kid, but he's 21, man.
Yeah.
He's not a 14-year-old who doesn't understand things. This is a college student. He's a grown man who did something incredibly stupid and just mean.
Yeah.
Like, why would
Very
you do
cruel.
that? Yeah. Why would you pick? And again, just when you're thinking about what that is to these players being drafted, right? It's like, this is the thing they've been working towards their whole lives. And actually it happened to another guy too. I don't know if it was the same kid that did it, but another guy got a prank call too. It didn't end up being as big of a thing. It was the tight end from Penn State, who was told, I think he was told the Packers were taking him. He ended up going somewhere else in the first round. But
I read about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not shocking. I love the friendly pranks. I love the pranks that, like your people, or whatever, or meaningless situations, but not a fan of toying with people in that way.
No.
It's very mean.
Like, I don't like the ones, for example, where kids prank their parents to make them think that a nuclear bomb went off or whatever. I hate those.
You won the lottery.
Right. Exactly. This one is more direct. And it's also like, how do you, as a 21-year-old, not have a sense that this is your dad's profession? And you went into your dad's iPad and got a number that's supposed to be a private number and use it. Like, how can how could you expect your dad to trust you?
Would you expect anything to happen?
I mean, nothing will. I mean, there's not. I mean, what can there be? It's not really a crime. The team didn't do anything wrong, right? The coach didn't do anything wrong. They weren't in on it, so there's no discipline, I would think, involved for the father. I mean, unless there's some kind of like fine for not keeping your information.
I'm sure the Falcons aren't happy with him.
Right. I mean, I'm sure but if you can't trust your own kid, your own grown kid, but again, that's probably the most of it would be some kind of minor punishment for the coach, for the dad, for Jeff Ulbrich. But
yeah, how do you punish a 21-year-old kid?
I mean, and also, but who has the authority to? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the dad does. Again, going back to, my own life, I don't care if I was 21, there would have been consequences for that from my parents. Something that they controlled over me would have been in some way limited. I don't know what it is. I mean, he's obviously in college, so he's still reliant on mom and dad in at least some ways. I would think there would have to be some, especially and in that case, if I'm looking at it as a dad, it would be less about the prank, which is bad, and more about you went into my stuff and took private information to use for your own purposes. You need to win my trust back, and until then, these are the consequences.
Yeah.
And you have to know your own kids, know what matters for that.
Yeah. It would, as a father whose son used to be 21, it would really hurt my feelings.
I mean,
it's one thing if you're 15, but if you're a grown-ass man and you do something that puts me in such a bad position, I'm just really disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, it is 15, I'd be upset about it too, but
sure, but in a different way.
It's a different thing.
Mike at Michael's Baths is doing something really cool. You already get 30 to 50% off what other bath remodeling companies do, like Bath Fitter and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. We do the same thing that they do at Michael's Baths, but we do it local and we do it family owned and operated, and we do it 30 to 50% less. Well, now those other companies are raising prices due to tariff uncertainty. Michael's Baths is doing the opposite. They're offering $500 off any shower or tub replacement and $1,000 off a full bathroom remodel, turning market challenges into savings for their customers. So that's a really nice thing to do. They don't have to do it, but they are lowering prices while everyone else is raising their prices. The work is going to be as good or better. So it's just kind of a classic decision. Do you go with a national company? Do you go with a local company? There's no regional guy to talk to with Mike if you have an issue with something's going on or a favor that you need to ask. I know that we said we're going to start on Wednesday, but we just found out that blah, blah, blah. Can we start on Thursday or Friday or next Monday? They got you. They're a local company. They got you. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Guys, if you're looking to have the great lawn throughout the spring and summer, there are certain times of the year where it's a little easier for it to look right. It's dark and green and everything. You're getting a lot of rain now, so it's pretty easy. But taking care of it all year round takes expertise, and that's where True Green comes in. They are the official lawn care treatment provider of the Kevin Wheeler House and have been for dozen years. I don't know, at least that, because we've been doing it as long as I can remember, probably as long as we've been in our current house. They're also, by the way, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. And I know that sounds like, ooh, boy, big deal. It is a big deal, but it's more affordable than you think. It doesn't mean that they're expensive. They will match any competitor's price. They're just good at what they do, regardless of the price, and they back it up with a satisfaction guarantee. So if you're ever unhappy, they come back between visits. They will make sure that it's right for you. That's what they promise you. So you can do this simply. Go to truegreen.com, set up your plan, and you can let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, we have cloudy skies, 86 degrees downtown of the Arch. I'm Maria Kina. Our top story this hour, Russia announced a unilateral 72-hour ceasefire in Ukraine beginning on May 8th. Ukraine responded by asking the Kremlin, why not enact a ceasefire now and make it permanent? CBS's Willie James Inman is at the White House, where the White House also wants to know why it's not a permanent ceasefire.
Over the weekend, the president met with President Zelensky during the Pope's funeral. We know, of course, that he described it as a nice meeting, but still, the president is disappointed that you had this offensive that was carried out by the Russians just last week. He expressed that disappointment in a social media post.
Republicans are huddling on Capitol Hill and trying to put the wheels in motion on President Trump's package of tax breaks and spending cuts. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he's not in favor of raising the tax rates. CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey Burns finding consensus on anything, she says, is a heavy lift.
They really wanted to highlight those potential cuts to programs like Medicaid. So you're going to see a lot more of this, I think, from Democrats, given that they're in the minority. They don't have much leverage when it comes to the budget, especially since they're doing this through that reconciliation process, which means they don't need Democrats to support it. They can make it without them.
How should new college grads try to navigate an uncertain job market?
They need to know what employers are looking for. Norma Guerra-Geyer, WashU's Associate Vice Chancellor for Career Development and Education, says that means paying attention to skills and competency recruiters are looking for.
Making sure that their experiences and their narrative, how they tell their story, specifically aligns to the language and to those competencies that employers are seeking.
Geyer says new grads can look at both in-class and out-of-class experiences to tell that story. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk. Gas prices in St. Louis have risen nearly 8 cents in the last week, while prices in the area are still lower than they were last month and a year ago. Drivers have seen an increase at the pump. At 3:02, it's time for an update of the St. Louis Business Index. Here's Stifel Senior Vice President for Investment, Scott Bedell. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Maria. Good afternoon, everyone. Financial markets attempted to make it 5 days in a row to the upside and succeeded with a last-hour rally. At the close, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had gained 114 points, or just about 0.25% to 40,227. The Standard & Poor's 500 index higher by 3.5 points to 5,528, while the NASDAQ Composite Index slipped 0.1% to close at 17,366. Locally, the Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index gained 0.5% at 1,455. Taking a look at stocks of local interest, Boeing gained just about 2.5% at $182.30. Centene added 3% at $59.47, and Stifel Financial gained 0.25% to $85.99. On the downside, Emerson Electric fell 0.75% to 104.5. Post Holdings lost 1.5% at $111.20. For KMOX, this is Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, please visit our website at stifel.com.
Weather is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL. If you're considering life insurance, Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. You can ask your independent advisor, or you can also go to pennmutual.com/STL. Dave Murray has our forecasts.
It's an early summer-like afternoon across St. Louis. Plenty of sunshine. Boy, we're dealing with a fast warm-up. It's also windy from the south. 88 for the high. 92 is the record from 1970. So I think we fall short of that, but it's much warmer this afternoon. Then tonight, clouds take over, very mild, 69, some rain and thunderstorms arriving well after midnight. Tuesday, real changeable sky, a mix of clouds and sunshine with periods of rain and thunderstorms. We have one wave coming in first thing in the morning. Some of those could be strong to severe. Then it's kind of a waiting game to see if a second batch develops as we go through the afternoon on Tuesday. Right now, I'm thinking most of that will be to our south, but close. 79 for the high on Tuesday. The problem, this front coming in gets stuck. So on Wednesday and Thursday, mostly cloudy with periods of rain showers and 72. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Quick check the traffic here for you. To southbound 55 at Germania, watch out for a stalled vehicle. Eastbound 44 before Kings Highway, the left lane is blocked by debris. Northbound 170 before Ladue, watch out for another stalled vehicle. And emergency vehicles, northbound 270 past Dorset, have the two left lanes closed. Right now we have 85 degrees in St. Peter's, 86 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 86 degrees. I'm Maria Aquina, in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Monday. Going to be a hot one today. I think it cools down for the rest of the week. Cools down like 75, not 87.
Nice.
So, I swallowed air the wrong way.
Uh-oh. Oh,
That's
man.
weird.
Yeah, that'll happen.
It wasn't even liquid.
Just took a funny breath.
Yeah, just took a funny breath of oxygen. It's very strange.
Not great.
Couple of political thoughts I had. First about Donald Trump, and we all see what's happening, right? I mean, I've not read The Art of the Deal, but my understanding of it is it's basically an expansion on Start High, like ask for something ridiculous and then come back down to earth. But his approval rating is terrible in his first 100 days, and I have an analogy to what he's doing. So, Andrew, were you a part of the poker games at my house, or did that predate you?
Predates me.
Okay, so about 15, 17 years ago, because I still lived it was before I built this house. I used to have poker games at my house from guys on the show. And the first time we played, Pigpen, who is my associate producer, came in and he ran the table on us. He won almost every hand. And you know how he did it? He bluffed. He bluffed every single hand. And we didn't know him. And we didn't know how good a poker player he was, and we just didn't call him out.
All right.
The second time we played, we called him out on his first three hands. He cashed out, laughed, got up, and left my house. He only had one move, and that was to bluff. And when you called him, he always gave it up. How is that different from Donald Trump? And I mean that honestly. Like, am I missing sometimes when he got called out and he stuck to it and he won? Or is it pretty much, hey, we're going to do 145% on China, and then China gets mad, and he's like, well, maybe not that much? Because it seemed to me to be a pretty good analogy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a similar strategy, right? Like if you can bully the pot, you bully the pot. That's kind of, one way to play around with it. It's either that or like you're betting bigger than you think other people can go, right? It's a similar strategy. For him, it probably has been more successful on a regular basis because, in poker, you don't have as much leverage because everybody else knows their own cards, right? Like if I got a full house, you can bluff all you want. I'm not going anywhere, right? So it works, but it only works when other people don't have cards or when other people aren't experienced. Or maybe that's not the right term, not as experienced as you are. And in a lot of places, I would argue the people making these decisions in China are probably every bit as experienced as he is. And they have leverage too, which is why
and they may have more cards than us.
Who knows, right?
When it comes to this.
Yeah, we don't know. I wouldn't assume yes or no, but the point is that in your poker games, not yours, but just in a poker game, if everybody's equal, then it's, it can be timing. It can be when you shoot your shot. It can be, I got the cards this time. I got the chance to do it. There are a lot of things that can play into that. And in this case, you're going in a little bit blind, not just, because you don't have inside information in every other nation, right? It's definitely a good analogy, and there's a lot of things that are variables in it that you don't always know going in. And again, I think this is part of the forgetting policy standards. This is also maybe a philosophical thing that a lot of Americans like, and a lot of people have talked about. This actually was a big conversation during the George W. Bush administration when you had it was the CEO administration, right? The country needs to be run like a business. This might be a case where it doesn't need to be run like a business, right? Because in a business, you typically understand where you stand in the industry, and you typically are really playing around, especially when you're the boss. Ultimately, it ends with you anyway, right? Whether good or bad, it's your call. The government and a nation is not the same thing as a company.
Also, just getting into Donald Trump's mind a little bit, and you guys listen to the show, I don't play this game a lot. I don't do a lot of I know what people are thinking, but he's won his club golf tournament over and over again. He's an almost 80-year-old man. Now, as I understand it, he can play golf, but to win the tournament, not the senior tournament, to win a tournament at any golf club, you have to play 25-year-old guys and 30-year-old guys and probably former pros. So if he thinks that he's winning all these, maybe he just thinks he's sort of infallible. So here's my second take on politics. The Democrats are starting to move, right? Pritzker's making a big move. You see Mayor Pete Buttigieg out there doing a lot of press. They're getting ready for 2028. I would say this. If 2024 taught me anything, it's that the United States of America in 2024, 2025 is not a liberal nation. I thought it was much more liberal than it was. But I think that two mistakes were made. One, you got over your skis on the liberal stuff. And two, America hates being told what to do. And when we got into the woke stuff, it got into a little bit preachy. Both sides are preachy about their own stuff. But obviously, the majority of America, because the majority of America voted for Donald Trump, he didn't just win on the Electoral College, they are not ready to be as liberal as you want them to be, and they really don't like it when you shove stuff down their throat. You think that's fair? A fair assessment of the last election?
I think it's accurate. I don't know. Maybe I didn't think of it the way that you're framing it. I never thought that the nation was more liberal or more conservative, because I think it clearly goes back and forth every 4 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we haven't had a pattern that would distinguish one particular direction for the country over the last 30 years. It's been back and forth, which leads me to believe that most people like the idea of staying centrist. Most people like the idea of playing in the middle ground, and when it starts to veer one way or the other too much, they want to bring it back. But maybe that's even overanalysis, because really all we're talking about are the swing voters in certain states. Right? We're not talking about most people changing their allegiances every 4 years or anything along those lines. We're not gaining or losing voters from election to election. We got roughly the same percentage of people voting each time around. So it may be as simple as we are in a spot where a small percentage of the population determines these things, because they're the ones that do swing back and forth, and they're the ones that can be reached one way or the other, whether it's through words or just because the world is the things that are happening, the policies that are happening impact them directly in their state.
Yeah, I don't agree that people are tired of having like liberalism shoved down their throat. I don't think that's why Kamala Harris lost the election. I think she lost the election because she refused to break free of Joe Biden and refused to say she would do anything differently than Joe Biden. And the economy was not feeling so hot under Joe Biden. Doesn't feel great now. But look at what the market did whenever Donald Trump was elected. There was a lot of optimism, a lot of hope. So I don't think it comes down to like, oh, they went too far with the trans stuff or anything like that. I think it came down to money.
True, or you don't think it had a big part to play in the election?
I think every individual is different. I don't think collectively we all said this liberalism is going too far. I don't.
I disagree. I think it's in the numbers.
Is it this is what I'd be curious about, because I know for a fact that there are people that see it that way. I mean, we all know people that see it that way.
Yeah.
So that exists. The question that I would have is, would they have voted for a Democrat anyway? Are these people that would be Republican voters anyway? And are we talking about the people that are swayed back and forth? Because those are the people that matter in this conversation. If you're going to vote one party or another, no matter what, well, then you're really not influenced by these things, because you're not voting for that party no matter what. You're a Democrat, you're a Republican, whatever. And that's what's interesting, because, as an example, people always say, I know there'll be people get mad at me about this, but whatever. People are always telling we don't like people forcing their views down our throats, but religious people do it all the time. The difference, I think, is there are a lot of religious Democrats too. So when it happens, it's not the same vibe, because there are plenty of Democrats in church on every Sunday, and they are in that community, and they may not agree with the method or the degree to which that thing is being pushed, but it's still kind of in their wheelhouse a little bit, right? Versus the other way around, it's generally not that way for transgender issues or whatever. So it feels worse to you because you're not liking what's being, quote unquote, shoved down your throat. But then nobody has an issue. Those same people don't have an issue with Oklahoma saying, nope, Bible in every classroom, and we're going to teach religion in public schools. Well, that's shoving a belief down people's throats. It is. Just because you agree with the belief doesn't change that fact. Just because it fits your worldview doesn't change that fact. So it's not that tactic that you don't like. It's what's being shoved that you don't like.
So for years now, I've been saying on the air that I thought that the days of conservatism were coming to an end in the future, like for my kids, because most people, and this is anecdotal, but most people I know who are very conservative are in the boomer generation or they're hardcore MAGA. I was neither of those things, and I was pretty conservative in my years in 97.1. But I would always say to my kids, like, yeah, I like going to the federal service because I think it's going to be a much more liberal, big government time. Because I think once Trump is done, it's going to be much more liberal. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way anymore. I think there is a big shadow group who don't like liberalism that we saw in the election. Do you guys disagree with that?
I mean, I have to go back to what Wheel said. It goes back and forth. I don't think that it's like,
but it's never been liberal, because what used to be liberal would have been conservative for now. Does that make sense? That we've never had very liberal politics hold sway.
Yeah. And I think that, Brian on the stream is saying like the libs got over their skis with ridiculous stuff like drag queens reading books to little kids. I mean, that's a juicy topic you can bring up, but it's not, the government isn't mandating that happens.
No,
so I just don't understand.
But it's about messaging.
Right.
Like the message is the message.
What do you mean by the message?
Well, if there are individuals who were motivated by the drag queen stuff, that's a message that someone is putting out there and they are reacting to it. And my hypothesis is that there are many more people who had that hit their gag reflex than I would have anticipated there being. There was a much bigger response to that stuff, which was clearly out there. I mean, it's not like Kamala Harris was leading with it, but it was out there. So my supposition is just that, we learned something in that election that people are not ready for that.
Yeah. I mean, speaking specifically on that's one of those things that was happening, I don't know, 3 times ever anywhere in the country.
Yeah. Look, I agree.
I agree. But I do think that I think we're an extremely conservative country. I think that I personally think that right now at this moment, we are seeing a cultural backslide, the likes of which we have never seen before.
I agree with both
in
those
this
things.
country. We have been progressing very slowly on things like social issues and stuff like that we are seeing an insane backslide from. I mean, there was talk in some states of like maybe taking away interracial marriage and stuff, which you would assume would just be a given in 2025 and not even something that we'd have to even think about. You know what I mean? Like that kind of cultural backslide is unbelievable to me. And
So,
the American people in
why do you think
general's
it happened?
willingness to embrace fascism
If
is
it's
just
not my hypothesis, why do you think that happened?
I think that we're just I think it's not about we went too far in one direction and now we've got to, course correct or whatever. I just think it's
I think if
I think we are go ahead.
if everyone's wallet was doing well and there were drag queens reading to kids in every library, I don't think people would care. I think
Joe
ultimately-
Biden got elected, right? Wasn't that long ago. Issues didn't change any between then and in 4 years. They didn't change that much.
Oh, I think they did.
I don't think it. I mean, it changed.
I
but
think the left was not smart in a lot of the things that they said.
Yeah.
And then I think the right was very opportunistic, that everyone who talked about drag queens or something controversial, that made the news. That made the right-wing news. And so a lot of right-wing people only listen to right-wing news. And if you're able to go on and make it seem like it's all drag queens, I think that's going to have an effect on
Now
people.
that I do
But
agree
they
with
would
you
never have
on.
voted for a Democratic candidate anyway.
But I do agree with Dave.
Maybe,
that,
maybe not. I mean, there's a reason he got more votes than he got last time.
I do agree with
The
Dave
economy
that
was doing poorly.
purely. I agree with Rachel that all issues are eventually boiled down to class issues. Whether it's race, whether it's social, whether it's LGBT, whatever. Ultimately, the core issues are class issues. But I also agree that Republicans are far, far better.
So, Rach,
with,
you just don't think
their
it had an
imaging.
effect?
It's not that. I don't think that was the reason Kamala lost. I think it was because we had a president who, first of all, we didn't elect Kamala Harris to that position of being the candidate. She was just kind of put there. And then on top of it, eggs are, you know what I'm saying? Like the economy, the vibes were very bad surrounding the economy. Then you can look at like the stock market the day Trump's elected, and it super optimistic looking up until this trade stuff. Now we're back in a similar position we were before. I just think ultimately it came down to people felt really bad about the economy, and that's why the Democrats didn't win. Because they thought, oh, Trump's really great at handling this. He's always booming when it comes to the stock market. And then look at what's going on now.
So if you were rooting for the Democrats, you wouldn't have any advice to give them on what I'm saying?
I don't think the Democrats come out and say like the craziest liberal over it. Conservatives are very good at messaging like, hey, these people are nuts. But I don't think the Democrat platform, the way they present, I think Kamala Harris was trying to go as middle of the road as she possibly could, like kind of turning back on some of the statements she made when she ran in 2020.
Yeah, I never referenced Kamala. I don't think that she was the one doing it. I just think that's what she had to work with. Yeah, I think the right pulled a fast one on making that seem to their listeners, their followers, like that was what was going on, that was a big deal.
That absolutely happened. I mean, like that reaction happened. I honestly think that both parties spend too much time preaching to their own choirs. I mean, too much. I don't know. You can people call it virtue signaling, do whatever. It's red meat to the base. But does that change the minds of a swing voter in Wisconsin or Pennsylvania?
Should we do this after? We've gone so long.
Yeah, we have to take a break.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Smart Mouth is the only mouthwash scientifically proven to eliminate and prevent bad breath for 24 hours with just 2 rinses a day. And they just upgraded their bottle. Now it has individual snap top closures, and Smart Mouth is easier than ever to open and use. There's no more assembly needed, but you still get the same 24-hour fresh breath now with effortless convenience.
Yeah, they just sent us new bottles. They're a big improvement. If you have bought Smart Mouth before, they did their best with the packaging. It's an evolving thing. I'm sure we'll change this packaging at some point. But like Rach said, there are 2 snap tops that they're either open or they're closed. And if they're open, you're going to get the 2 liquids from Smart Mouth. If they're closed, you're not going to get any. And so that is an improvement. You can find it anywhere you buy your toiletries, convenience stores, grocery stores, box stores, places like that. Before you do each time, go download a coupon for $2.50 off at smartmouth.com/Glover.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you self-conscious? Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 a.m. Streaming live on the Odyssey app and now at 104.1 FM.
Just about 1 minute here, went really long on that last discussion. A guy in Missouri got arrested after a high-speed chase with police. He told them he was testing out his cousin's theory that cops won't chase you if you drive over 100 miles per hour.
What?
Didn't work out well.
The cousin theory.
The cousin theory.
I love testing out my cousin's theories.
Man.
A radio station in Australia is facing heat after fans figured out that they had been listening to an AI host for 6 months.
Ooh.
You did that and didn't tell anybody?
No.
Wow.
That's pretty creepy.
I wonder if it was talk or music. Music seems easier to pull off.
I think it was music.
Okay.
Although remember when we played the Man and the Woman show?
Yeah, that
and
was weird.
They were figuring out that they were AI. That really creeped me out.
It was weird.
Yeah. It was odd.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and music director Stefan Deneuve for Peer Gynt, a fully staged live performance featuring the SLSO, the St. Louis Symphony Chorus, and a cast of actors, puppets, and sets. Edvard Grieg's Peer Gynt is rowdy, charismatic, and outrageous, and it is filled with laughter and love. This performance will be a theatrical experience like no other. May 3rd and 4th at Stiefel Theater. Tickets at slso.org.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
Well, if you're heading out on the highways, they just cleared a crash a few minutes ago. South 270 at Ladue, southbound 270 has stop-and-go pockets from about Dorset all the way down through that area, but it's still slow from 64 down through Manchester. After that, you have a good run going down to 55. Southbound 170 is busy from Olive all the way down to 64, but not jammed. Westbound 64 from Kings Highway out to McCausland's bogged down. Midway between McKnight and Lindbergh out to 270, due in part to the 270 volume. A lot of volume going south on 141. You're backed up from Olive all the way down to 64 in that restricted area. The construction going on, of course, at the 64 interchange. Northbound 170, Scudder up to Airport Road's busy. Southbound 55, Arsenal all the way down to River to Pear has heavy pockets. It looks good in Jefferson County, however. Eastbound 64 is still a little slow. From about Route 3 over to 3rd Street, we had road work going on there. I'm Roger Brand at the Michael's Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Now,
90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Horn tipped out by Closer will score! Oh, baby! What a moment! Here in Los Angeles, City lead! Revs, restart, curling ball. Get in, spot Venture, goes for a header, got hit by Larice. Butts are on in front, we try to stuff it home, and it's in! Right foot, oh, Ben Loon, he makes the save, dive into his left, Paul still alive at the top of the 18, rescued. What a save by Loon! This game ends in a 2-2 tie.
Up next, City SC faces the Seattle Sounders Saturday night. Kick at 9:30 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basementy experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy. And unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. We're just talking politics with the guys in that last segment. And I don't know if you guys will remember a couple weeks ago, I went off on Chuck Schumer and said that he just doesn't realize he's done yet. And he's so done. And he's getting roasted on CNN of all places because he came out today and said that he had sent Donald Trump a strongly worded letter.
Well, then.
So.
Didn't he also say that he's not going anywhere?
Probably.
Like, okay.
No, you'll have to drag him out.
Yeah.
But he needs drug out.
I mean,
he's not doing any good. A strongly worded letter?
Well, you know, what if it was a terse letter?
Yeah. What if he got Kurt? Dave Murray joined us. Hello, Dave.
Hello there.
When's the last time you sent a strongly worded letter?
Oh, it's been ages. I think it was to your agent, but I'm not sure.
And my mom's still mad about that.
That's right. I'm having camera problems, so people who are streaming, I think I'm having camera problems.
Yeah.
I haven't quite figured that out yet.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, but we can't see your beautiful face. So
okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question for Wheels.
Okay.
And it hit me last night, and maybe it was just me. I was watching Stagecoach last night down in Southern California in the desert, and I was watching Sammy Hagar. That's probably a statement that you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
What I said. But Michael Anthony, Wheels, have you ever been told you kind of look like him? The bass guitarist?
No, but I can see it when I haven't shaved. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, a little longer hair. Yeah.
I've never pulled off that hair.
I kept seeing the guy. I was like, God, that looks just like Wheels.
I mean, there are not many rock stars that are somewhat similarly shaped to me. He'd be one of them.
Yeah.
It's like straw that stirs the drink too, man.
There you go.
I like that saying.
Oh yeah. I mean, can't happen without that guy.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
I thought it meant something else.
No, he makes it work.
So Dave, we could have some storms coming in tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, we've got and actually first thing in the morning, you're looking at your phone again. Unsettled weather now. The evening is fine. It's warm. It's warm for this time of year. We have a cold front coming in. front then gets stuck over us again, like the last 3 or 4 events. So we have 2 rounds of rain and thunderstorms tomorrow. First thing in the morning. I mean, really, first thing in the morning. Some of those could be strong to severe. Then a break, so kind of a mix of clouds and sunshine. Then another shot mid to late afternoon on Tuesday. The odds of that are like St. Louis south, especially south. So we're going to have to watch that one. It's windy and 75 degrees. Still showers and a couple of thunderstorms around Tuesday night. Still the same story on Wednesday. Best chance for thunderstorms Wednesday will be in the afternoon, and still showers and a couple of thunderstorms around on Thursday. Temperatures in the 70s during this stretch. We'll clear it out for Friday, clear it out for the weekend with temperatures in the 70s. I don't think any of these events, so Tuesday morning, Tuesday, late Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, I don't think any of them are widespread severe weather outbreaks, kind of typical late April, early May type thunderstorms for us. So it's not one of these things where everybody's going to get snockoed by it.
Okay, good. Headlines, Rach?
Brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. According to a new report, Gen Z workers are increasingly opting out of college and into the trades. An expert says there are about 2 million fewer students in a traditional 4-year university now than in the year 2011. And the and that's in part because of the cost of getting a bachelor's degree. Students tell the pollsters the annual cost of attending a 4-year in-state public college increased by about 30% between 2011 and 2023.
I think this is a good thing, right? I mean, we need people in the trades, so it accomplishes that. We need college to get over itself, so that everyone's not taking out $150,000 in student loans, or parents aren't going broke right before retirement. So I think that's good.
The conclave to choose the new pope will start on May 7th, according to the Vatican.
It'll be run by Rafe Fiennes.
It's going to be a lot of attention. I mean, there always is.
Yeah.
But I think after the movie, I think there's going to be a lot of attention to this one.
Do you think it's a little weird that there are betting lines on who the next pope will be?
Yes, I do.
I'll bet on that. Because there are.
Sign me up.
Last night I was watching 60 Minutes and I got to witness this live, but 60 Minutes called out Paramount for executive producer's exit in a rare on-air rebuke. Producer Bill Owens was a longtime executive producer, and since Paramount was increasing their supervision due to a merger with Skydance Media, Owens felt he lost the independence necessary for honest journalism, so he stepped aside, and they talked about it in the final moments of the show.
It was brave. I have a 60 Minutes question for you.
What's up?
Since I had it on my show sheet today, since you said that you watch it, when it comes on, click, 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 tick, 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 tick. I'm like, 60 Minutes. This is what smart people watch. And I get bored. Like within the first package, I'm like, I wonder what's going on over here. What do you think that is? Just I'm not that smart?
No,
do you sense that as well? Like there's something about 60
I
Minutes.
think it's a time thing, because I think it was the show to watch for a long time on Sunday evening.
I mean, it's still maybe the highest rated weekly show that's not a football game, like on all of TV. So it does well. It's got a big audience.
Maybe they're just not leading with, the stuff
Yeah,
that's
maybe not.
capturing you. I don't think it means like you're dumb or anything like that.
I feel dumb because I'm like, well, here you go again. You're out of 60 Minutes in
it's
5.
more lack of patience than it is intelligence.
I went through the same thing yesterday, though, Dave. I watched like the beginning of CBS Sunday Morning, and I'm like looking at all the different features, and they all seem great. And then I was like, I'm not watching it though.
Yeah, right.
You just kind of move on with your
same
day.
thing. Like Jane Paul, I'm always like, this now. Here we go. Here's some entertainment. Let's hear about the tuba.
A man in his 20s was rescued twice in 1 week from Mount Fuji in Japan after, so this is a Chinese national who lives in Japan, was airlifted off of the peak last week, but had to be rescued again just 4 days later. He was found by another hiker on a trail more than 3,000 meters above sea level and was suspected of having altitude sickness. Reports suggest he returned to the mountain to find his phone after being rescued the first time. But it's unclear if he was successful.
Okay, he needs to pay for all the rescue operations.
Amen.
100%.
Everyone does.
Wow.
Yes.
But all his stuff is on there. all his pics. He doesn't remember his passwords to get into all his social media.
Am I correct, Rach, that Mount Fuji is Mount Fuji, but it is hikeable? You don't have to have any sort of mountaineering skills to do it. I think it's just really difficult.
Yeah.
But you can you can walk and hike and
I'm pretty sure.
Did not know that.
A fired Disney employee gets 3 years in prison for hacking into the system and changing the menus at a restaurant, including changing allergen information and adding profane language to the restaurants. He was ordered to pay nearly $690,000 in restitution. Disney was able to identify and remove the altered menus before they were distributed to the restaurants. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, people could die if you're altering allergen info and stuff like that.
Brian is asking, is Conclave a good movie? Wheels and I agree. Excellent movie. The ending, I thought they got a little over their skis. I thought it was a little too much, but it didn't ruin the movie for me.
No.
I didn't tell anyone in my life, like, don't watch this stupid movie.
It's fascinating. Actors are really good.
Yeah.
It's obviously an interesting story because nobody sees that, right?
No.
And obviously it's fictionalized. We don't know if it's exactly how it goes.
If no one spoils this movie for you, like we're trying very hard not to do, you're not going to get to the end and go, that's what I thought it was.
Right.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame unveiled their class of 2025 inductees, and they did it during that American Idol episode I was telling you guys about. Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, and Bad Company will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, along with pop star Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, the White Stripes, and Soundgarden.
You know who didn't make it for the very first time was the Reader's Choice, which was Fish.
Oh, Fish didn't make it.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about how like every
They've
other
never not made it.
You were saying last week that it was pretty much a foregone conclusion because they always make it.
This time they got the snub.
Wow, weird.
Chili's changed its most popular burger and no one noticed, says the CEO. They changed the pickles. They switched to a more convenient pickle jar and nobody cared.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because pickles are gross.
It's kind of good news.
Yeah.
If I'm the CEO and I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah, that's like best case scenario.
Yeah.
My final story here, according to a NBC News Stay Tuned poll, young Americans are more likely to feel lonely and anxious about the future compared to older generations. 29% of adults under 30 report feeling lonely or isolated, while 56% of Gen Z feel anxious about the future most of the time.
Yeah, it's because we don't have much of it left.
That's right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, it's true.
We're not looking at the next 60 years.
I got to do this stupid crap for maybe 20, 25 years. That's it.
Yeah. Well, in your case, it's going to be another 50.
Well, that's true.
Oh, I should have said this earlier, but Dave Murray's forecast was sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
Thank you, Sandberg Phoenix.
All right. Yes.
They were also a sponsor of my charity event this weekend.
Very
They were just following me around. I can't get away from them. They keep financially underwriting me. Thank you, Dave.
You got it.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
No, we're still backed up on southbound 270. This traffic reports a service to the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. If you're traveling through there, we had a crash at Ladue earlier. It's jammed from Page down to that point. Still slow most of the way to Manchester. A little busy approaching 44 and Gravois after that. The right lanes also bogged down midway between Tucson Ferry and 55. Southbound 170, Delmar to 64 is slow. Westbound 64, Kings Highway headed out through Bellevue's busy. Lindbergh out to Spady, a little volume there. And 364 out to Highway 70 is slow. Still a lot of traffic. Not quite as bad, but you're still backed up south of Olive on 141 all the way down to 64. After that, it's not as big of a deal. A couple of slow spots, but nothing serious. Westbound 64, Kings Highway out through McCausland's busy. If you're traveling on southbound 55, Arsenal down through Bates, you got bumper-to-bumper stuff, but it still looks great in Jeffco. And downtown westbound 44, busy between the bridges. Eastbound 64 across the Poplar over to 3rd Street. That's heavy. We had road work going on in that area. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Tell you guys about Zero Res. Had them out to my house probably 10 times. Going to have them out again. When it gets to be this time of year, and I've kind of said this the last couple of times I've done a live endorsement for them, but it just happens to be true in my case, that if you have animals in your house even if they're good animals, they're animals, and every now and then they're going to have an accident, and maybe you're not even going to see it on your carpeting or your runner like mine up the stairs and down the hallway where the bedrooms are. And when it gets warmer, it starts to get a little funkier. It starts to smell a little bit, get some like the Resolve and stuff over the counter. Just have Zero Res come out, clean it up, going to get all that badness out of there. They're going to have a treatment for it so that it discourages your animals from doing it in the future. Maybe it's not animals you're dealing with. Maybe it's not your pets. Maybe it's your family, the next best thing to pets. Maybe they keep spilling red wine and dumping sausage pizza. Bottom line is, thanks to gravity, your carpets are the dirtiest place in your house. We can change that for you. We also have great treatments for hardwood floors and tile and grout and things like that. Also, we'll do your upholstery. $119 is the starting price for 3 rooms of carpeting. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call 314-474-2020 or just visit ZeroResSTL.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Baseball is back, and this season there are more ways than ever to watch your Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. As always, you can watch FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. New for 2025, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals without blackouts. And for a limited time, you can get started with a 30-day free trial using code CARDS30DAY when you sign up at FanDuelSportsNetwork.com. Visit Cardinals.com/TV to learn more.
Tired of battling pests? At Rottler Pest Solutions, we offer year-round protection from termites, mosquitoes, moles, and more. With flexible scheduling and 24/7 support, we're always here when you need us. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Welcome back. 351 DG. As we're out of here at 4:40 on the dot tonight because we have the Cardinals pregame and then the game at 5:40 in Pittsburgh, right?
No, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah, it
It
should
was
be
NL.
Look, it's important because they've been terrible on the road. I mean, 2-11 on the road is as bad as you're really going to get.
Yeah.
And, it's been tough, right? Atlanta's good. The Mets are good. Boston's good. Right? You've had some tough series. Cincinnati's good, but they're not that good, right? They're like 2 games over 500 now. So winning 2 out of 4, because it's a 4-game series. If you can get a split, that would be a good start to turning it around. And, of course, if you win the series, even better. But baby steps.
How does
not do it.
our starting lineups compare? Do
Uh,
we know them yet?
You mean the rotations and
Yes.
stuff? It's not that different. So Palante and Nick Martinez today is kind of a draw in my book. Michaelis and Singer is tomorrow. That favors the Reds. Liberatore, Abbott probably close to a draw, maybe slight edge Cardinals. And then the last one's tough because Sonny Gray's pitching on Thursday, but Hunter Green is going for the Reds. Hunter Green, he had a blow up recently, a bad start recently, but other than that, he's been phenomenal this year. He's kind of like settling in, if you will. He's 26 now. He still throws 102, but now he kind of knows where things are going. His splitter's nasty. That'll be a tough day.
Speaking of sports, Andrew, I understand you're a pickleballer now.
I am a pickleballer now. It brings
You proud
me,
of that?
No, I'm not. It brings me no joy. I feel like a traitor. I feel like I've betrayed everybody.
Only because the rest of us hate it.
Because everybody else hates it, and we've been very much on the record of our hatred of pickleball here on the show. But then I went out to Chicken and Pickle with a couple of friends out in St. Charles on Saturday, and I whacked a couple balls around, and we had a wonderful time.
So happy for you.
It's somewhat you should try it, Dave. Well, we should all play together.
Because I'll love it.
You will probably
and then
love
I
it.
will become what I abhor.
It's very.
I will be buying pickleball outfits. You know I will.
Oh man,
I can see why it's beloved by people who are not athletic like me.
I'll move into a 55 and up community. I'll buy an upside down pineapple.
Because it does not involve a lot of
Moving.
I don't know, work. Yeah, moving. Like it's pretty easy. It's pretty low energy. That net being lower,
Not
makes
sure you're
all the
selling
difference. It's great. No, it's a blast. It was super fun. I didn't feel like stressed out. I didn't feel like there was anything I couldn't do. I was pretty good at it, if I do say so.
Dave, would you collect paddles like guitars if you got into it?
Oh, you know it.
We bought
everything.
We bought a couple of paddles.
Are they all the same?
No. There are like $10 paddles that are like wood, and then there's like carbon paddles that are like $100 at Target.
I just mean, like, do they all perform the same? Like, is there?
I mean, you have to think no, right?
I would guess not if they're more expensive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're better, or maybe they just don't break though. Maybe
These
that's
carbon ones are 10 times more expensive than the cheap.
Yeah, but
wood
they just
ones
may
or
not
whatever.
break. You don't know that they perform better. I could do some digging.
I think we should all get out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DGS
Try it
pickleball
out.
team.
No chance.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So, to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Seems everything costs more these days.